Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. Tyler.
Yes.
I think you look very handsome today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're very smart. I think you probably give the best Red Sox takes of anyone that I've ever met in my life.
Aw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just felt no reason to say that, or was it just something kind of going through your mind?
No, I just
have you been complimenting everyone today?
No, it's mostly just you. Like I value you a lot as a friend, as a co-host, as a mentor, as an idol of mine.
Idol, Jesus,
you're
Christ.
my idol. Yeah, why?
I'd like to think I'm the mentor. I'm the younger one. It's a little weird to have a mentor that's 9 years younger than you.
No, it's not.
I'm not judging you.
Yeah, I look up to you.
Jake, do you look up to me as well?
No, but your beard does look really nice today.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Thank you. I did get a haircut, so
yeah, it looks amazing.
And I didn't get a haircut because of you. I want to make that clear. Everyone in my life has been telling me, please get a haircut. So here I am.
I'm sure that's a lot of people because you're very popular.
Yeah. A lot of people passing along the pubed beard remark.
Good. Hey, it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to applaud?
Suck on it.
You couldn't even go fucking 30 seconds.
I gave you a chance. To make up for it, and you're right back to where you started, dickhead.
Wow, be nice.
Sorry. I've been hanging around with you a little too much, I think.
What do you mean? I only give you compliments.
Today.
Every day.
It's scary when the podcast ends. You should hear the things that are said afterwards. It's
Jake, do I ever say anything mean to Tyler?
No, it's always nice stuff.
It's always nice stuff.
No one's buying that from Jake.
Interesting.
Jake's the real monster.
Jake's also a great person. Yeah, I've been very annoyed by some of the feedback of this podcast over the last couple of weeks. Been very annoyed.
In what sense?
In the sense that like usually, I've been like this my whole life. Like if something really, really bothers me or annoys me, I want to kill it with fire. I'm just like, all right, well then I quit. Or all right, then I'm just not doing that anymore. All right, fuck that. I'm not talking to that person ever again for the rest of my life. Or all right, like we're breaking up. Like that's just how I
operate in a very similar way where like if something annoys me or bothers me, I just rather throw it off a boat.
Yeah, like you are fucking cut off. And I don't want to feel that way about this show, but for the last week I've felt that way about this show because I'm breaking my number one rule because I don't like my number one rule, never take criticism from someone that you wouldn't take advice from. And you've got the like 2 or 3 slapdick idiots on the Section 10 Reddit page. They're like, like the podcast is this and the podcast is that. Shut the fuck up. It's like first of all, they said that I'm too mean to you. So I immediately texted Tyler and I was like, hey, like, am I too mean to you?
Very genuinely as well. I know we're like busting balls here and fucking around, but it was like a very serious, hey, like, I don't know if I've been pushing it. Like, I just want to check in with you, honest opinion. What do you think of this? And I had already seen it in the subreddit and I've told Jared, he knows I look at the subreddit and I'll tell him what I think of it or ask him if I'm doing something weird I need to change. And he's like, and I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, just, it's 2 or 3 idiots. It's the same people. And I think someone wrote on one of the posts and they were like, dude, you've done this 4 or 5 times. The guy despises me. Whoever keeps writing this post the most, he hates me. And I'm happy you enjoyed the Steve conversation last episode. I'm really happy for you. Yeah. But I'm not fucking going nowhere. Like I'm going to be here. So like, you got to accept that front.
Maybe if I don't cancel the show, I mean, I might just go fucking nuclear and be like, you know what? The fucking show's canceled. I don't give a fuck.
I think when the Sox are playing good,
you'll never see me
people
again.
look for something to get upset about.
That's usually where I go to when I get
you can't complain about the Red Sox until this series. Now people have found that again.
But they're okay, yeah. So like they were like this one dude made a post on like the Section 10 page, and then he went on like the Red Sox Reddit and was like, I need to find a new podcast because and he was like, well, first of all, he's like, they don't talk about the Red Sox enough. That was like point number 1. And I was like, buddy, every other like Red Sox podcast, which by the way came after us, they'll do like 40-minute episodes and they'll talk about if they talk about it for the whole 40-minute episode that they put out, we'll put out 2-hour episodes. We might talk about the Red Sox for an hour and a half, and there's a half hour of nonsense, but you're still overall getting way more Red Sox talk on this show than you're going to get on other shows, and that you're going to get on sports radio. I don't get that point when they're like, they don't talk about the Red Sox enough. What the fuck else do we talk about? Like again, I'm going to double down on the point about how like some of our most popular episodes ever had nothing to do with the Red Sox or baseball. Like people still to this day will be like, yeah, I listened to a 3-hour podcast about Trash Island. That was on a Red Sox podcast. Like that's just what it is. And we were built on that. Like we were built on just random fucking bullshit. So there's that one. Then the other point was, that's just like Jared talks about himself and then they sprinkle in some Red Sox talk. My life is the Red Sox and baseball. Like at no point have we ever been on this podcast and be like, yeah, so like, you know, I fucking like I have not like I can't even think of an example to exaggerate or joke about because I dedicate my whole life to this job. Like that all I do is watch baseball, talk about baseball, and go to baseball games and involve myself in baseball things. So and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but if I go in the Nesson booth, right, and it's a thing that when I go in there that they give up home runs, like I'm still talking about baseball and the Red Sox.
They talk about it when you're not in the booth. That's the thing. Like even when you're not in the booth, it's a joke on the broadcast now about you being in the booth.
Yeah, like I am intertwined with the story of the team because of that now. Like I'm not just like, hey guys, all right, welcome back to Name Redacted podcast. So yesterday I went to the aquarium and they had fucking penguins there. You should have seen the size of these things. And I went in there and I was swimming with them and it was so much fun. Like that I could understand. Or like, yeah, last night I went to a poker game and man, you should have seen the hands that I was playing and I was going all in with shit cards and I was bullying people out of them. Like, it's like, all right, cool, sick dude. It's a Red Sox podcast. But if I'm like, hey, yeah, so I was at the field and I saw Tristan Casas doing infield drills and he's out there working, be like, dude, yeah, okay, sick firsthand story. It's like, like John Anik, right? Who we had on, huge Red Sox fan, UFC podcaster. I'm sure he tells tons of firsthand stories because he's there. Like, is that not interesting? Like, if you're a fan of something, it's like you want to hear the firsthand stories from people that are there. I don't know. I think it's fucking crazy. Some of like the and I don't even want to call it feedback because it is like
it's such a
small minority,
people.
But it's just the people that have the most fucking time on their hands, and that's why it's so annoying. It's like the same like 3 to 5 people complaining about the same dumb fucking things, and I'm like, wait a second, like, do you in your real life not bust balls with your friends? Because I think it's weird if you don't. Like when I had that tweet about like my sister, and I called her my adopted sister, which I've been doing for 10 years. I don't know. And the amount of people like, man, that's fucked up. Like, blah, blah. I'm like, she's my biological sister. I think if you don't have that kind of relationship where you can just like fuck with each other and like bust balls, like I think that's weird. It's more like a professional. I think professional relationships are just like awkward and they're uncomfortable and there's no chemistry there. I think if you can fuck with somebody, like that just shows, oh, they're comfortable. Like, they're friends outside of this. They're friends outside of like, that's great. And that's why like the Section 10 chemistry was great, was because we were friends outside of the show. And with Tyler and with Jake, it's like we're friends outside of the show. It's not 2 people that got put together by a program director. And it's like, all right, well, you guys are, that's an arranged marriage. I chose Jake.
You choose to fuck me.
I choose to fuck Tyler. I chose that. He is my dance partner in this world. So to those people, I don't want to say like outright, like I'm just going to like stop. And that's another thing too, that kind of pissed me off. This year, people be like, oh, well, I like so-and-so on Red Sox Twitter because like that person, like he engages and he responds. If you saw the shit that like I have to read, if I'm like, it's just nonsense. If someone wants to engage in like an actual dialogue about the Reds, like today, someone was like, hey, what's that? Is that like a like pine tar on Verdugo's neck? I'm like, no, he got a neck tattoo. Like it's not like I'm like too good for it. Like I don't even look. I look. It's just tons and tons of nonsense. Just like the Section 10 subreddit used to be like super funny and like inside jokes, and everyone is like engaging with each other. And then it just became like, this is what I don't like. And like the points don't even make sense. Like the fact, like to say that we don't talk about the Red Sox, which is ironic because like we're 10 minutes into the show, we haven't talked about the Red Sox. It's only because of these fucking people. Like, shut the fuck up or listen to another show that isn't going to be as good as this one. Go for it. Please. Just whatever you do, just shut the fuck up.
I do want to shout out because as usual, when there's like this wave of like a couple people that just want to cry, and they do it because then, you know, that post gets a lot of attention. There was a massive post like hours after that's like basically what you just said. Like, stop fucking complaining. Nobody wants to hear it. Like, these guys are grinding. They are here every day. Like, what more do you want from them? And as usual, that post gets a million more likes than the other. So like,
well, tell me if I'm wrong. Do I talk about myself? How? And if I do, how?
It's no different than it was in the Section 10's days. Like, that's how the bits, that's how the jokes, that's how all that different stuff came out of it. Now, we'll both put our hands up. It's not Section 10. This isn't Section 10 because I'm here. Coley and Steve, you know, they play, you know, they're not everyday roles. We call them, we do different stuff like that. But there is a different feel to the podcast. But that's reality. When something's different, it's going to feel a little different. But I also think there's things we do, you know, in terms of Red Sox talk forever. A lot of people early in the season, they're like, I really like it because it feels like they do slant a lot more towards Red Sox talk than maybe they even did in the Section 10 days.
You can't win.
It just changes on the week.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
In the first half, people were like, it's too much Red Sox talk.
We need bits.
Yeah,
please give us bits. We miss them.
And then you get to a point where it's like, yeah, let's do the fucking, all right, the bullet thing and this and that. All right, enough with the bits. We want Sox talk, or else we're going to listen to this other Sox podcast.
Like, I remember last month, whenever I was down the Cape or whatever, and they lost to the Marlins, like, people were like, please, anything but the Red Sox. Yeah. It's like, it's up and down. I get it. And they're playing good. So that's a little bit of a different conversation. We'll try to meet everybody's needs. That's what we do here, but we're also going to be what we are.
Where are the Reddit threads about Dallas making fun of my legs and my height and talking about banging my mom? Is that over the line? Oh, no, it's because we're friends in real life and we know how to bust balls. Shut the fuck up. Anyways. This episode is brought to you by Knockaround. Sponsored by Knockaround Sunglasses, quality polarized, affordable shades, including new MLB and U.S. women's soccer team pairs. Check them out at knockaround.com. And you know what, Tyler? I'm going to give you 20 fucking pairs of Knockaround sunglasses.
Really?
Yep. Every team, 2 pairs each, autographed by LeBron James.
LeBron?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the best day of... All right. Am I dying?
No.
Did you guys get some news from my family today that something's wrong with me?
No. Nope. Nor do I have any interest in talking about your family, Tyler. I have no interest in that today.
Fuck my family. All of them. Mom, deceased father, little sister, Sam. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Uncle Cubby, Uncle Bucky. Fuck you.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
You know what we're going to talk about?
Let's talk about some fucking Red Sox baseball. Let's talk about the fucking Red Sox. Woo!
I don't know about the positivity horn today.
Yeah, positivity horn, baby. The Red Sox talk starts now because the deadline is on Tuesday, and you know those Red Sox are picking up Justin Verlander. They're picking up Juan Soto. Throw in Blake Snell if you one more time. Throw in Blake Snell if you want to. How about a little Josh Hader throwing some fucking hundo sliders from the left side? The Red Sox are going all in on this Red Sox fucking trade deadline. Let's go Red Sox.
Let's go Red Sox.
Let's go Red Sox. Woo! That deadline is coming, baby. But before we talk about that deadline, we gotta talk about this series against the San Francisco Giants. The Giants fans were all mad at me because I said the Red Sox should have swept. I said they should have swept this series. Am I wrong for saying that?
No, I can see it both ways. I felt like this series was just a reflection of two teams that did not want to win. Like the first game, I'll give credit to the Red Sox. They showed up and did it. But it felt like you were watching a mirror image. Even in those later innings, it's like, oh my God, like stupid base running mistakes today. The Red Sox had an awful moment. The Braves had an awful moment. You have bad defensive moments. The Red Sox go ahead. Like it just felt like sloppy baseball the last couple of days. But I'd also go and tell you the Red Sox didn't deserve to win one of the last 2 days either. I just don't think the Giants really did either because they had so many opportunities.
Which game
that
did they
threw away
deserve
again
to
and
win
again?
The least?
The Red Sox.
No. Which game did they deserve to win the least? I'm sorry, I didn't speak
the second
enough.
game, the middle game,
being an idiot.
the middle
What?
game,
The middle game.
the middle game.
So
Because the Giants,
not today.
no, today was
Why?
bad, but the middle game, you looked at it, the Red Sox bats were asleep the entire fucking game. The Giants had so many opportunities to add runs on that whole game. James Paxton
That
had
happened
2
today,
runners
too.
on. Not as much as it did today, though. Like you look
Bases
at
loaded. GM Chris Martin was in like that. Like the Giants
Yeah,
had plenty of opportunities to finish off the Red Sox both games. They won both anyway, but there were opportunities before their walk-offs where they could have made, the final score like 7-2. Like they could have blown the Red Sox doors open.
I look at the second game and I say James Paxton let on 2 guys in every single inning except the second inning, and you found a way for him to go 5 innings, 1 run, when he really did not have it whatsoever. Like the bats, it was nice they showed up in the 9th inning there. You got that 1 big hit out of Justin Turner. Then Kenley gives it up on the first pitch at the bottom of the 9th. Like you don't even have a chance at it. That 92-mile-per-hour cutter right down the dick. It is what it is. Both games were pretty similar in that sense, though. Today, though, I'll give them credit. They battled back late through multiple innings, multiple rallies, but there was probably more stupid plays overall today.
You know what sucks about this series is, well, first of all, Josh Winkowski snatched the ketchup right out of Justin Turner's hands, like straight up.
Stop it with the Winkowski.
No.
Oh
He
my God.
absolutely
What are we talking about?
Snatched it right out of his hands. If it's not for Josh Winkowski, the Red Sox win that game. Is that true or untrue?
That's
True or
not
untrue?
true.
That's true.
I watched Josh Winkowski give up 2 balls that didn't even leave the infield. That
He
were
gave
hits
up the
that
lead.
inning.
Did he give up the lead?
Yeah, it was a tough moment there. The
Gave
ball
up the lead.
bounced right. I'm not crapping on Winkowski. He's been one of the best relievers on this team since the All-Star break. 5 2/3 scoreless. It was 6 2/3 scoreless going into that. And he picked up the defense the inning before when Casas had that ball fall. So, like, Josh Winkowski showed up and did his job. Some bad BABIP luck. I'm not killing him over that. I'm sorry.
Jake,
what I am going to kill the Red Sox
Jake.
for is in the 10th inning.
One more Red Sox talk. Let more fucking Red Sox opinions into the conversation. Holy shit. Jake,
Fuck you.
who... Now you're being mean. We can't be... We're not being mean
You
on
started it.
No, you started it. Jake, who gave up the lead in the series finale?
That was Winkowski.
Josh Winkowski, yes. Okay, so Tyler, listen, if we're going to have an honest discussion here, if we're going to talk ball, you got to know ball. And Jake...
Wow.
Yeah, Jake knows ball. So, therefore, I'm just pointing out, if it weren't for Josh Winkowski, Red Sox probably win that game. And, I mean, 100%.
You had a runner on second 2 different times
That's
with
actually
no out.
They would have won this game in 9 if it weren't for Josh Winkowski.
I'm not killing him over some bad BABIP luck. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just pointing out the facts. Facts are...
I'm pointing out that you can't score a runner from second back-to-back innings.
Facts are, if Josh Winkowski gets the job done, then Chris Martin closes that thing out. Blyer closes that thing out. Then we're talking about a Red Sox series win. We're calling, like, the vibes are good. We probably get like a voice submission from Will Fleming, Lou Merlone. They're all out there in San Francisco doing the damn thing. We're hearing from everyone. We're hearing from everyone tonight. And now we're not.
All I'm saying is the bats in this 3-game series, 208. That's what they hit for the series. The OPS was 612. Runs per game was 2.7. The bats did not show up. You had chances to win these games late.
Justin Turner showed up.
He's the guy who does show up constantly.
Tristan Casas showed up. In game 1 was the Tristan Casas game. Let's not forget the one win in the series. Tristan Casas shows up with RBI double, Andy Homer. And by the way, I don't know how much of the crosstown rival you listen to, but Will Fleming had an interview with Alex Cora on WEEI before the middle game on Saturday. And they were talking about the Tristan Casas home run on Friday night. That he, like, both of them were like, yeah, I mean, like, we were both here for Barry. Lefties don't hit the ball where Tristan Casas just hit that home run. Like, that's Barry Bonds territory out there. So let's not forget Friday. It was a great win. It felt like it was setting the tone for the rest of the series. It was by the 5th inning, it was 2-0 Tristan Casas. And they end up, I think, Ref Snyder had the RBI knock in the 8th, ends up being 3-1.
Justin Turner saving the day with that ridiculous play up the middle.
Yep.
That was with Winkowski on the mound.
Made another great play today.
If there's an outing to complain about, it's that.
Has the Justin Turner at second base slander died down? Have you noticed?
Yeah, and listen, I was someone who was very concerned, more health-wise than ability-wise, but that play was incredible. I give him his due on that.
Were you against it before he played a game?
Against it, yeah. I would have said it was very risky. I don't know if you take that chance, but I also think considering where they are, they kind of had to take the chance too.
Mm-hmm.
I was just very injury risk based. I was like, this guy is going to pull something. He's going to tweak something. Even when he made that diving play, like I'm flinching, but credit to him. He's got the job done. He's 38 and doesn't give a fuck. He's acting like he's 24.
I mean, he's been playing every single game. How many games has he not? I mean, I'm not saying started because he has entered the game as like a pinch hitter or even like defensively. How many games have the Red Sox played and how many games has Justin Turner appeared in?
He's played in 100 games this year, which is the most of any Red Sox player this year. And for the season, they are up to 105 games.
Okay. So there you go. Would you say that Justin Turner has been the Red Sox MVP this season?
Yeah, I think off the field and on the field.
Yeah.
What he's done in that clubhouse, he is the leader of this team. Rob Bradford doing his trade deadline speculation the other day just talked about, he's like, anybody who walks into that clubhouse, you know immediately. It runs through Justin Turner. Like, we all knew he was a really good player when he was with the Dodgers. We had no idea what he was off the field. And he was, when he left this past year from LA, the fans talked about it like, this is the guy over the years who has been the soul of the Dodgers. Right now, at 38, his first year in the clubhouse, he's the soul of the Boston Red Sox. That's absurd.
Mm.
When's the last time a guy brought in on a one-year deal at the end of their career meant this much to a team?
Probably like Mike Napoli, Johnny Gomes, like the 13th.
But they weren't 38 years old.
No, but they were veterans. They weren't spring chickens. They were veterans on short deals. Like, I don't know how old was Johnny Gomes in 2013. And I'm not comparing Justin Turner. I mean, Justin Turner's obviously been much more of an impact guy and from a baseball. Yeah, he was 32. And
Justin Turner's an old fucking man. Like, not in a disrespectful way. It makes it even more incredible, but he is old as shit and he's still playing like
Mike Napoli was 31 in 2013.
Like, those guys are still, second contracts, but geez, Justin Turner and the way people talked about him.
You know what the correct answer is to that question? It was Curt Schilling in 2004.
Yeah, that is the comp right there. That's it.
He was like 39 or 40 in 2004.
Just an old guy who's going to come here and be in the middle of everything. Like, you look at what he's done in July. Dude, he's hit 350, 400, 600, 1,000 OPS going into today in July.
What was the cutoff they had on the broadcast talking about he leads the majors in RBI over like a certain span? Is it the second half since the All-Star break?
It was something like that. I remember hearing it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But that's who he's been. Like, you've run out of nice things to say about Justin Turner. Third base, first base, second base. Who was giving you more? I love JD, but the big thing over the last couple of years was like, it never felt like he came through in big moments. You get those weak at bats. He's been the opposite of it in every single way. Anytime he's up and you need a hit or a run to come across, I don't worry because I know at the very least Turner's going to make contact and lift it somewhere.
I think
now he has 17 homers.
Does he really?
Yes. He had 13 last year in like 128 games.
How many doubles?
Entered today with 25.
I'm giving him a 10-year contract.
Big buyout next year, but if there's a way, I'm willing to keep him around.
Buyout?
Yeah, so it's like $6.5 million or something like that.
What would you buy him out for?
There's a player option, but the buyout idea is that he could take and get $6 million and then go sign somewhere else for basically what he got this year and make 18.
He has a 13.5 player option. Oh, so we can't exercise it.
Mm-mm. Why would he can do the buyout, get the 6, and then he's going to get 13, 14 somewhere else?
Oh.
Maybe you restructure it. He seems to like it here.
Yeah, he does. He has performance bonuses for $200K based on plate appearances, it looks like. Yeah. How many plate appearances is he at now?
For the year, he is at. Give me 1 second here.
They start kicking in at 480.
gonna
480,
easily
500,
get that.
520, 540, 560.
He's already at 431 right now.
All right. So he's knocking on the door of, I don't know, probably like an extra million. So that'll
Basically.
make it 9-ish, 10, fine. I don't know. I mean, it's 13.5 next year. You think he can do better than 13.5 guaranteed at 39?
I think he could get right around that.
Look
but
at
you add the
JD.
$6 million.
JD got fucking 10, and he led the league in doubles last year.
But even if you get 10, and I think the idea on JD, like most people, he was on the other side and trending downhill.
But he still
with
led
Justin-
the league in doubles last year. Like the homers
Sure.
were down.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to JD Martinez, but nobody was looking at JD and saying, "Oh wow, we still feel really good about that guy." Like he hit 16 homers last year, and 2 or 3 of them came in that last series of the year. So it was a 116 OPS plus. Say what you will, that was a massive downgrade for JD at the time. Justin Turner's already been better than that this year with 122. And they get about it different ways, but I think with Justin Turner at this point, the whole idea is he can get 10, 12 million with a $6 million buyout. He's just going to end up making more money overall. Maybe if he's just like, I love Boston, I'll take it. That's great. But that's not the right business move in all reality.
Do you tack an extra year on for 25? Do you give Justin Turner? Well, probably not, right? Because
he's 40.
Yeah, like it's his age 40 season, but like that's to get him back next year at 13.5.
Maybe.
I don't know.
And
I think he exercises the option. 13.5 when JD got 10. It's a 1-year deal, and he's 3-4 years older than JD.
Yeah, at that time. Now, JD, physically wise, I think is viewed differently, though. He's a guy who can't play the field anymore.
Right. The value
Justin
is that he
Turner's
plays defense.
playing first, third, second. But I think the reality is with Justin Turner at this point, yeah, maybe he ends up picking that up. But I think the Red Sox probably look at Yoshida and they want him to DH.
Yeah,
and say
100%.
that's probably the guy we view in that spot moving forward.
How soon around the corner do you think that really is, though? Like, you think that, like, I understand that he's not going to win a Gold Glove out there, but I don't think the Red Sox are going to look at, like, this is the same organization that saw Hanley Ramirez and they were like, "Yep, left field, 100%. Let's run it back. Let's put him at first." Like they tried multiple things before. They were like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't want you to see the field anymore." But Yoshida, I don't like. What's the outs above average on Yoshida this year?
It's bad. I was looking at it the other day. Now, I will go and say there are things to the eye test there. There's very few moments in your head or where anybody can go and say like, "Oh, he cost you badly," or that was like his worst moment. There were a couple little awkward spots, but he's picked up the monster and playing the ball off the wall pretty well. He currently sits at, for outs above average, 10th percentile. So he's not going to wow anyone, and that's why in San Francisco
has he stood
they didn't
out?
let him out there. No, he's fine. He's below average, but you can hide him at Fenway.
Yeah.
You can't hide him in San Francisco. And I think that's where some of that conversation starts to happen.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, let's just say the baseball gods are like, you know what? That weekend series against the Red Sox and Giants, like that was pretty entertaining. Let me snap my fingers and get those two teams to the World Series. Then it's a little bit of a, how do you figure this out? I mean, it's nothing that the Red Sox haven't experienced in the past where David Ortiz, like 2013 is the better example because 2007, who the fuck was the first baseman in 2007? Don't answer that if I'm stupid and that's obvious.
I'm not going to say it because you're going to get mad at yourself. You're going to get really mad at yourself.
Kevin Youkilis.
You're friends with the guy. Yes, thank you.
I'm in my head, he's a third baseman. But yeah, Kevin Youkilis was at first. But yeah, you needed Poppy in there. Like that was probably a bigger dilemma than 13. Well, because 13, Mike Napoli was no defensive wizard, but he won you that ALCS in a way, like the Ortiz Grand Slam. But then you also had that home run off Justin Verlander that doesn't get nearly the same fanfare. But that home run, that was a 1-0 ball game, wasn't it? That was Verlander versus Lackey.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1-0. Like that series, the Red Sox straight up hit like fucking 117. So every hit mattered. But that's to say that, you're going to have some sort of issue with, we have a DH spot, you have Justin Turner, and you have Masataka Yoshida. Like you've got three guys that are like, yeah, I mean, it's not like Turner's playing a lot of defense, but I feel like Justin Turner's defense has been preserved by the amount of plate appearances he's gotten as DH as well.
Yeah, that's a major part of it. And I think that's a constant worry every time you put him out there in the field. The other thing I would throw into this equation, I think with Jarren Duran, do they believe he's a center fielder long term? I have my questions. They still seem to prefer Duvall out there in center field. And the Verdugo trade conversation, not only that's here right now and a lot of people are having it, but this offseason where it seems like a majority of people are willing to move off of him. At that point, how many solutions do you have to the outfield moving forward? Like Ceddanne Rafael is in AAA. I have my concerns about the bat, but even if you project him, okay, well, that's left field and call it center field. If you keep Duran in left, you're still going to have an outfield spot you need to figure out there. And I don't think they're going to put Jarren Duran in right field if they don't believe he can play center at Fenway.
I also don't think that, like, who was it? Bradford that had Sean McAdam. Sean McAdam had the Alex Verdugo quotes, which was a little clickbaity from McAdam, which I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But Castillo had to quote tweet the Verdugo headline to give it the full context, because just the McAdam headline was, I don't care, honestly.
Fuck the Red Sox.
Yeah.
When I read it, I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I keep getting confused with Twitter because now it's X, which is stupid, but
I finally lost the battle today in my app switch.
Did you?
Sadly.
Okay, so Chris Castillo of the Mexican Times quote tweeted Sean McAdam. Sean McAdam's tweet was, Red Sox outfielder Alex Verdugo on trade talk. Quote, honestly, I really don't care. So like that alone, you're like, oh, he doesn't want to be here. Imagine Manny saying that. Like, hey, Manny, what do you think about the trade rumors? Honestly, I don't care. Like
he basically said what James Paxton did in different words. It just, you think of it differently because of how you interpret the player.
Yeah. So the full quote is, honestly, I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. I really don't care about that stuff. I'm here playing. I'm with the Red Sox. I thought the same thing when I was in LA. I thought I wouldn't get traded, and I did. This isn't my first time. Once you get traded, you don't care. So I think it, like, you know, Sean McAdam is not a clickbait guy. He's just not. It comes off that way 100%, and whatever, you got to get your clicks. I don't think Sean McAdam tried to portray it as Verdugo said, if they want to trade me, I don't give a fuck. Like, get me out of here. Like, I don't think that's how he wanted to be portrayed. That is how it came off. But with the full quote, I think what he's trying to say is, I've been traded before. Like the sting, the pain of that's whenever you have your first baseball as a business moment, then I think you become numb to the next one, right? Like in the case of Mookie Betts, who I do want to talk about that, because we didn't talk about that on the last episode.
Oh, I have a lot of fucking thoughts on that.
Yeah, I have one simple thought, and I believe it to be the truth. With Alex Verdugo, I think you come up with the Dodgers, and this is an organization that likes its young homegrown players, and they will pay them to stay if they're good enough to stay. And I think you kind of get a little shell shocked when they're like, actually, no, we're going to trade you. And then they do. And then you're like, wow, like, I guess it's a business. It really is a business. It's not like, oh, the Dodger family and this and that. Any player that's been traded probably had that moment with themselves where it's like, wow, especially if you're traded from a good team. It's less if you're traded from the Pittsburgh Pirates to go to a winning organization. Like when I'm trying to think of like Jameson Taillon when he was traded from the Pirates to the Yankees. It's like, fuck yeah, like this team stinks, and I just want to go to a winner. And then there you go, you get your shot. But with Verdugo, he's trying to tell you, I've been traded before. Yes, it sucks, but I'm not even thinking about trade rumors. Like, I just got to go out there and do my job.
Yeah, and I think he's a player in that piece. If I remember, like, he was pretty shell-shocked when he got traded by the Dodgers. He was one of those guys that hit. He thought he was going to be there forever. So I understand the way he's going about it, and I think he realizes his situation. A week ago, we got the column from Rob Bradford telling everyone there's still no extension talks. He's gone to them a couple times. He jokes about it, whatever it is. I think the reality is at this point, I'm not ruling it off the table or anything like that, but if they wanted to keep him around, it feels like there'd be a different message sent there. I think the Red Sox like Verdugo. They don't love him. They see him as a player. Well, oh yeah, we'll keep you here, through the end of this deal, or really, your player control, or we'll move you just to get some value back. But a second contract, the Andrew Benintendi contract, for example, $575. I don't think they're too interested in giving him a deal like that. No. I think they'd probably redistribute that money somewhere else. And for Verdugo, I'm not trying to crap on him. I love Verdugo. What he did for this team the first couple months was huge. The reality is his numbers have dropped back to where they were the last couple of years offensively. So 105 OPS plus. It was 101 in 2022. In 2021, it was 107. Now the defense is amazing, and nothing's going to change that. What he's doing in right field is great. So that keeps the floor a little higher. But I think the step that a lot of people are looking for, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it's not there. He's kind of regressed and gone through that super bad cold streak Verdugo goes through every year.
He's been exactly what he's been the last 3 years.
He's the better defense than last year. Playing right field and doing that, that's a massive deal. And even 2021 when he was playing left field.
I'm just talking offensively here. Yeah, there's like a little bit of a step up, I guess, but not enough to be like, wow, like he really made that jump that everyone thought he was going to make. He'll be 28 next year. Not to say that he can't go. Like, I still think like we're going to get that one season where it's like low 900 OPS or a mid 800, something like that. I think that that's in there. And I still think that we might see it. But yeah, I think we're at the point with Verdugo where it's not necessarily that they don't like the player. I think they like the player. I think Alex Cora likes Alex Verdugo. I like Alex Verdugo. To your point about the defense, it's noticeable. And at Fenway Park, where you play half your fucking games, you need a really good defender in right field because it's a secondary center field. Like that stuff is important. The Red Sox didn't figure that out until 2013 when they had Shane Victorino out in right field. And it's like, wait a second, that's a center field. It's like, yeah, well, we need a center field. Or no, excuse me, JD Drew in 2007. My king, my god, JD Drew. Excellent right field defense. So I think they're gonna have to have that conversation if they haven't already had it about Alex Verdugo, where it's like, yeah, we like the player, nice player, but can we do better? And what Steve's calling. Oh. Hey, is this Steve? Hello?
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 Do you think this team's just not built for the Bay?
For the Bay?
The only two series they lost this month were in the Bay.
Like BAE?
No, BAY.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Water.
Yeah. Do you think that they don't like water?
I just think this team isn't built for the Bay. I know we've been talking about it all year. Watch out for those A's and Giants series. Mm-hmm. And then it actually came back to bite them in the ass. It got them.
Well, I've been to Oakland. They don't have water.
How far is that actually from the Bay?
20 minutes maybe? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I close my eyes when I go there. I'm just trying not to die. Oakland it's wild over there.
Yeah. Just trying to survive out there
every day. I mean, especially when you go to San Francisco, it's just heroin needles all over the ground. Like you got to like step over legit needles. Oh yeah. The main streets of Brockton.
I actually like San Francisco. I haven't been to Oakland, but San Francisco.
Don't go. There's nothing there for you. I mean, the Coliseum, you kind of just go just to be like, well, this is a piece of shit.
You fly across the country for that.
Yeah, I mean, I told you I spent my 30th birthday. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I can't talk about myself on this podcast. Never mind. Fuck my.
Thank
birthday.
you.
Fuck my birthday.
Jesus.
Oh, is this what is this a beef here? What's going on?
No, it's just like there's like some fucking asshole on the Section 10 Reddit that said this show is just me talking about myself with some Red Sox talk sprinkled in. So I didn't want to mention.
So when you read that, what went through you when you read that? Were you like, oh my God, I'm so upset about this?
I read it and I was just like, oh man, if only I was a dog, this wouldn't piss me off so much. That
guy probably hit send and was like, I'm a dog. For
Yeah, he definitely did. And I was like, fuck, man, he is. Guy's a fucking dog.
So what does Doogie have to do to be back like a dog? Because I think he had 3 hits in the series.
So we were just talking about that. We were having the conversation about whether or not the Red Sox should look to extend a contract to him. And we haven't ultimately decided, but the points that were made were that step up defensively for sure. We mentioned Shane Victorino in 2013 being like a really good defender in right field. JD Drew in 2007. Mookie Betts, he was pretty good defensively in 2018. You know, defense in right field matters a lot, and Alex Verdugo is a very good defender. But offensively, he hasn't taken that step up. He hasn't become the guy that I think when Alex Cora benches him and he tries to motivate him to be like, oh man, I'm a joke, but he doesn't do it. We haven't seen that consistently over a full season. So where do you land on giving Alex Verdugo a contract?
Well, it basically comes down to how much you'd want to give him, right? Like what you would want those terms to be. I keep thinking he's going to want more than they're willing to give him.
Would you give him the Benintendi contract?
The White Sox deal?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Right? that seems high.
I mean, it's less. I mean, it's what 5
It's
years?
about what he's worth.
5 for 75. You're not giving Alex Verdugo 5 for 75?
I wanted him around 60. I always love when we do these, by the way, like we're giving him $60 million. Like, actually, I looked at my bank account. Yeah, I can give him 5 for like 60.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah. 5 for 75 is too steep for you.
Maybe a little bit. Where do you guys have him?
Tyler?
I think that's about where he would rank, but I just don't think the Red Sox are going to want to give that to him. I think they're going to be able to find some similar production. And like, if Andrew Benintendi didn't suck at baseball, he'd probably be worth about 5 years, $75 million. This is reality here. He's a below league average hitter this year. I'm not holding any punches. It's the reality. I love Boston.
It's
Andrew
reality.
Benintendi.
It's me, Mario.
Shut up.
I mean, the only person that's been mean or bullied on this podcast has been Tyler. I also was told that I bullied Tyler too much and that I damaged my relationship with Steve because I was mean to Steve. Is that true, Steve?
Well, I think Tyler this year, and since you guys have launched this show, is in my position now of kind of taking punches from you, right? Does that feel right, Tyler?
I'm a victim, Steve, just like you. Help me.
I bet there's some nights that Tyler's like, man, he might have got me a little too hard in this one. Is that right, Tyler?
I cry myself to sleep some
He
nights.
cries every
Yes,
night.
I do.
He cries every night. That's why I only say nice things now.
Steve, have you ever had pubes for a beard?
No, definitely not.
No, Steve grew a fucking...
Say thank you.
No, Steve grew a mustache during the pandemic.
Oh, COVID. Yeah, the COVID stash. I forgot about that. That thing was terrible.
All I did was compliment that mustache. I was like, this should be your look. And then he shaved it.
I think you complimented it in the way you complimented Caleb Ward. I think it was very similar.
I fucking no.
Yes.
Steve. No. I have a picture probably in my phone somewhere.
Yeah, you got some pictures in your phone that I would prefer they stay there.
I got some pictures of Steve, man. I got some pictures of Steve that people would look at him and be like, look at that dog. Just laying there. That dog. Yeah,
it's not good at all.
No. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say I only have one picture of Steve. I got pictures of Steve.
I think you got a whole folder just to like keep me in check so that I know I can't get too out of line or else I'm just toast.
Yeah, or else you're just gonna get picked. Where's
like a dog? What do you guys got for a trade deadline prediction? Just one move, if you could.
Justin Verlander.
For who?
Jesus Christ.
Nick York.
Straight up?
Yep.
No money. Just keep the money exactly the same.
Yeah. You don't like that one?
Yeah. No, that one's not bad. Tyler, what do you got?
I'm going to go Steven Matz. They pick up the last couple years of the contract. They liked him in free agency a couple years ago, and they get Tommy Edman in the deal as well. Shores up second base moving forward. Doesn't put any pressure on Meyer next year as well.
Why don't
it's not bad.
Why don't you just get Why don't you just get Justin Verlander instead, dude?
Listen, that's why I'm not the GM of the Red Sox and you are.
I'm not the GM of the Red Sox, but if I am, I'm getting JV, kid. Oh, here it is. I found it. Here it is. You don't like that?
I think he's pulling it off. Steve, you have a great chin. I'm very jealous.
Steve.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
Steve. I was born with weak chin genetics.
Steve.
Yeah, what's up?
What do I have to do to get you to grow the mustache back out?
I don't know. That might have to be like a rally stash thing or something.
All right, well, we need a rally, dude. We're not in a playoff spot right now. Let's rally.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on it. What if the Sox traded for Stroman? How about that?
The Cubs just said they're not trading Cody Bellinger, so they're not going to trade. I said Seth Lugo. I talked myself into Seth Lugo the other night.
Good name.
Yeah, I everyone was like, "Oh, is that Scoop Shop?" And I was like, "No. This is not an informed opinion." But I just grouped together all the teams that I thought either were sellers or should be sellers, and then I was just looking at contracts, which I think he's only making like 8-ish, something like that. He's pretty cheap.
7.5 next year. Yeah, I think it's 7.5 both years.
He's under contract for next year as well. The Red Sox had interest in him before the season started, and it's like a pretty solid ERA, pretty solid WHIP, pretty solid strikeouts per 9.
3.62 ERA, 3.76 FIP.
There you go. The FIP is pretty.
Oh, Joey's got something.
What do you guys? Joey? Breaking news. Should I hit the breaking news button?
Wait, what? Wait, is that now? Did that just happen?
What?
Oh, Cotillo earlier today said that he's convinced they're going to trade Verdugo. Did he say that?
Yeah, he didn't say he was convinced, but he basically mentioned Verdugo. He thinks it could be more likely than Duvall.
What?
Oh, what? More likely than Duvall?
Where did he say that?
Oh, no, I think he said he bets on Verdugo being dealt more than Paxton at this point.
Where did he say that?
Framed it. On Twitter.
He said that?
He said that
it was
on
like
X?
responding.
He said that on X, dude?
Did he say that on X or no?
He X'd it?
He X'd that out
Where
to the world?
Where the fuck did he X that?
Oh, here we go.
Was it a reply or was it an X?
Yep, I got it. So someone responded to him.
It was a quote X.
It was a quote X?
He quote X.
What time did he exit, dude?
4 hours ago, dickhead.
Oh my God. Hold on. What? See how
to read it?
Tyler's so fucking mean. Go ahead. I liked you know how when you're in first grade and the teacher like picks on one kid to read, but you like have to follow along while they read. Like I like to look at what you're reading while you're reading it.
I'll read it nice and slow.
All right, go ahead. I got it.
So someone responded, I take it that means you think Paxton's not getting traded. He goes, I think it could go either way, but they'd have to get a controllable starter, either in that deal or another one. I think it's more likely that Verdugo is dealt, in parentheses, or Duvall.
Oh.
There's some steam to that Verdugo thing the last couple days. A couple different of the reporters floating that.
Oh.
I don't see that. That's actually what concerns me if it's not just one person saying it. If there's multiple people saying it, I'm actually getting a little worried about that quote X.
Yeah, I mean, if the fact that he just like X'd something like that a few days before the trade deadline, that means you know this it's kind of serious because he didn't reply. He quote X'd, so he wanted
you don't just throw that. Let's be real. You don't throw that X out there without some info, right?
No.
I will say Cotillo was very heavily on the Verdugo trade conversation this offseason as well.
Do you think he hates him? You think that's why?
No, I think he hears the same thing a lot of people do. They like the player. They don't love the player. He has a year and a half left to control. If they want to make kind of a splashy move and get some assets back and maybe flip them another way, he's really one of the routes if they don't deal Paxton. And I will agree, like you deal Paxton, that's a pretty big white flag, even if you get a controllable starter back.
What?
I think you can deal Verdugo and still kind of walk that line a little
You
bit.
think trading?
I do think they can make the playoffs without Paxton. I actually believe it. Am I crazy?
Me too. They fucking never win when he pitches.
I think
They
it's
literally never
it depends
win
what
when
you
he
end up
pitches.
getting
I'm not
back.
saying it's his fault, but it's like you could throw fucking Johnny Banana Seeds out there and fucking you're gonna get the same results.
No, I think white flag, I mean towards the team, not towards how we interpret it. But if you take him from the team.
I don't know, but I mean, from Johnny's standpoint, he's been getting screwed lately. Every time, it doesn't matter what kind of outing he puts out there, they give him no offense.
Listen, the Red Sox are 6-8 when James Paxton pitches.
That's crazy. I didn't know it was that bad. That's really bad.
6-8 after his last start. Right? What did he go? Saturday?
Yes.
Man, he's like 2 earned or fewer in like 80% of his starts.
Yeah, you look Stevie's stats this year has been a revelation. This dude
I'm diving more into the stats. I'm doing more stat stuff this year.
I see you grinding out there. Stevie Stats is out there.
You don't miss anything. I put a tweet out there saying the game's shaping up to be a tough loss, which it was. Can you tell me that was not? Of course that was shaping up to be a frustrating game.
No. Justin,
and I know you immediately saw that was like, I can't wait to reply to this the second that the Red Sox take the lead.
No, Steve, I saw your tweet.
Sorry, my ex.
I saw your ex right when Turner hit the homer. I was like, it just happened to be the first tweet that I saw after the homer. And I was like, idiot.
Oh, that's the first one you saw. You didn't bookmark that.
No,
ready to...
Steve. I don't bookmark an X unless it's like something that's about to like slap. You know.
How excited were you when you found out last year, I think, what the ratio tweet meant?
I love Ratio and Steve. I was hit him with
multiple times.
You've had waves of replies over the years. This is your new like go-to thing. It's the Ratio.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, if I can't mock your voice in real life and you can't hear tone over Twitter, it's just Ratio, dude. Just get Ratio. Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to say on the last episode of the show? I'm canceling it.
Oh, nice. You guys had a good run. I always liked the art you guys had. I liked for the YouTubes. I think the art was good. So shout out to whoever did that.
Yeah.
I think Jake always has good points.
Jake's got great takes.
Jake gets the most out of his words.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even just saying on the show. Anytime I talk to Jake, he doesn't say a lot of words, but they're always good words.
He's kind of like an evil genius.
Yeah. I always never know what he's up to. He's always kind of got a smirk in his face. I'm like, what's Jake thinking right now?
He's always just like looming in the shadows, waiting to strike.
But I feel like he's taking everything in. Like he's realizing his surroundings and has like something ready for all scenarios. So I'm impressed with Jake. But yeah, no, good run, and great I'm pumped. So you guys can just be out of the equation. That's good.
Yeah, I opened the show with like a 10-minute rant about how much I hate everyone on the Reddit page, and I believe there was a thread about like don't have Steve on the show anymore, and so I'm just gonna we can get another 5 minutes out of this at least. What'd you have for lunch today, Steve?
What did I have for lunch?
Yeah,
I don't even remember what I had for lunch, dude. Well, I have no idea.
This is why people don't want you on the show. You gotta
small margarita pie.
Margarita pie. Oh, you know what I did today? Let me talk about myself for a second. Jared, I tried avocado for the first time today.
Does it taste like dick?
It tasted like nothing really. It kind of tasted like if I had to pick anything, it would taste like the contents of like the inside of a hard-boiled egg.
All right, that'll do it.
You ever have an avocado, Steve?
I've had avocados on stuff, but not. I haven't just had an avocado. No.
Wait, you've had? You've like sushi?
No, like in a sandwich. Like you have avocado. Like
you have avocado toast?
Yeah, avocado toast. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! You gotta grow up. You gotta grow up. You just gotta smash an avocado raw dog.
I know. I'll think about it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna take note of what you guys said for the trades at the deadline, and we'll see if anybody nails it.
All right. Yeah. Seth Lugo for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Also,
Tyler said Stroman, right? Tyler's got Stroman. All right.
I did not say.
All right.
Fuck all of you.
Bye, Steve. Wow. Final episode ever of the Name Redacted podcast. We get Section 10 legend Steve Peralt.
I will say, him not saying I was one of the parts he enjoyed of the show hurt my feelings a little bit.
Yeah, he straight up said that maybe you know what? Maybe this is an evil plot by Steve. Maybe Steve is just making burners shitting on this show. So knowing my personality, that my first instinct is always to just like cancel it or get out of it, so that clears a path for ITM to be the number one Red Sox podcast.
Maybe they'll pick you up.
No, once I'm done, I'm done. I'm not going to Brett Favre it. The day that I hang it
You
up.
won't come back?
No. Mm-mm.
Come on.
No one will ever. People think that.
Be Cole Hamels.
People think that I'm joking about like when I'm done, I'm done. But when I'm done, I'm done. Like you will never see or hear from me. I'm never going to tweet again. I'm not going to post on Instagram. Like I am getting off the grid when I'm done.
So I won't be able to talk to you anymore. You'll never speak
No,
to
you
me
can
again?
you have my number. You can text me, but
Have me over?
no.
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 That's not happening for a long time. You're young. You're in your prime.
No, it's probably soon. Baseball fans, you could be winning every inning with the hottest offers in the game. DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered from the top of the first to the bottom of the ninth all season long. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can take a shot at bigger payouts with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place your parlay by combining 3 or more bets from the same game. Every additional leg gets you an extra boost up to 100%. Step up to the plate now at DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance. Opt-in and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Yeah, like, you know how like Chris Benoit, they said that like he had like the brain of like a 85-year-old man with dementia after he murdered his whole family and himself.
Yes.
That's how I feel about being on like the internet. For like I've been on the internet for more than half the time that I've been alive. So like they're gonna open up my brain and be like, this man subjected himself to like 17 years. Like, you know how like all like the kids now are like growing up with like depression and everything because they have like social media and like they just see like 5 or 6 horrible things about them and then they get depressed. Take 17 years of that and then multiply it by 1,000 and that's my brain.
I'm praying for you.
Yeah. So
How do you survive?
barely.
You're fine.
No,
You're letting them get to you today. You're letting them get to you a little too much.
I'm just saying.
Hey, you're Jared Carrabis.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean shit.
I believe in you.
We might get Coley on this podcast today.
He's gonna say what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, we might get Coley on the podcast today because I know it's not a Clark's Ketchup episode. We do, by the way, on the final episode ever of Name Redacted, we do have a different segment. Not yet. We do have Red Sox Lottery on the farewell episode.
Should we wrap up our Verdugo thoughts?
Sure.
Do you think he's straight at the deadline?
No.
What percentage would you put on it? That's probably the better way to frame it.
12.7%.
It's good. I'd say 15. I'm right in that ballpark. I think he gets traded over the offseason. I think that's where it really happens.
He's under contract for next year?
Yes, he has another year.
Okay.
That's why they would try to capitalize with the year and 2 months of time.
Yeah.
You can get the most you possibly can for him right now.
Sure.
I just think that would be a pretty tough pill to swallow considering some of the stuff he's done for you at the beginning of the year. Not as much as Paxton, but still pretty tough sell. And then you'd keep Duvall and just try to figure out the outfield next year.
Jake, what do you how you handling the Verdugo situation? You keeping him?
Yeah, I feel like it's just really ramped up here in like the last week. I'm not prepared to see him go. I think probably won't see him leave by the deadline.
Yeah. I hate that Winkowski blew the game today because we would be having such a more positive conversation. Like we wouldn't be having a conversation about trading Alex Verdugo. It'd be like, are we going to trade our best defender when we're just marching that ass to the wild card round? Like that's what's happening here. We just took a series from I know that the Giants were struggling a little bit, but they took a series from the Giants. They could have swept the series. We would have been having a conversation like that. We would have scoffed at the idea of trading Alex Verdugo. I still kind of am. Like I still kind of am.
Unlikely. I would even, I'm not going to say highly unlikely, but it would very much surprise me.
I thought the most interesting part of that was bringing in Adam Duvall to that conversation, saying that the odds are that Verdugo is more likely to get dealt than Duvall. Duvall homered today, and I've kind of flip-flopped on that now with Duvall. I don't want to trade Duvall. Like he still helps. Like Adam Duvall being a contributor on this team, has that taken away from Jarren Duran contributing on this team?
Well, Cora had a very interesting pregame message today. We're not expecting to play Duran or Casas against lefties anytime soon, or at least start them there.
Yeah.
So that made me sit there and say, well, maybe they are changing their plan, or they look at it and say, we just want to keep these guys on the Devers 2018 plan and see what happens. We know Cora likes playing the matchups. I guess my one question to that would be, in this world, right, where Verdugo's playing every day, you have Yoshida playing left field, could you basically run that platoon with Refsnyder?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like you're paying Rob Refsnyder. Like it's not like he's like some slapdick option off the bench. Like you're paying him not like starter money, but he's probably one of the more
you extended him.
Yeah, he's probably one of the more higher paid bench guys that you're going to come across in this league. And it's because he's a professional. Like every time he's been called upon, like how many times can you, well, actually he had a really bad at bat today.
But a big hit, the game-winning run in the first game.
Yeah.
And that was a righty. So like we know Refsnyder's limitations. I like Adam Duvall, but it seems like there's teams that are hot on them. We know the Braves are, the Phillies are. So we'll see. I still would more likely expect him to be dealt. Am I as far on that side as I was a couple days ago or even a week ago? Probably not. But I think Verdugo sitting over that stretch did open up a little bit more playing time for Duvall as well.
Mm-hmm.
But those quotes from Cora pregame, they do mean something.
I'm trying to look at some numbers on Tristan Casas here to kind of, I don't want to say prove someone's point, but like, I guess the numbers will tell us. So we're all very excited about what Tristan Casas has done recently. So right now, since June 16th, I'm looking at Jarren Duran is actually second in the big leagues to Luis Arias. Duran's hitting 362. Casas is hitting 346. Duran's OPS 1021 and Casas is 111. Okay. So it's like, all right, those are awesome numbers. But how many lefties have they faced in that span? Because the when I was pumping out the stats about Casas over the last, call it 30 games or so, I'm pumping those out, comparing them, say, hey, I'm like Freddie Freeman is the only first baseman that's been better, yada yada. It's like, all right, yeah, that's because they're protecting them against lefties. Like they're just not seeing them. So Casas over that span, that span that I just read you the numbers, he has seen 19 lefties. And he's hitting 235 with a 728 OPS. Small sample, but 19 plate appearances against lefties over that 31 game stretch where he's been in God mode.
What bothers me with that stuff is, and I see people continuing to cite it and act like it's like some game changer. The reality is, against lefties this year, he's been a league average bat. It's 101 weighted runs created plus. Like
That's
he's
fine,
not
but I'm
lighting
just
it
saying,
up
like
there.
they are limiting. Like when you look at the holy shit numbers that they've been putting up over the last month, it's like, well, it's because they're limiting their exposure to lefties. Like it's 19 plate appearances for Casas. It's only 8 for Duran. By the way, in those 8 plate appearances, hitting 500 with a 1375 OPS. So I would be a little intrigued to see what Duran can do against more lefties. But yeah, like there's no doubt about it that they've been protected from lefties.
Of course. Well, that's the argument we've been having on here, right? Like time and time again, like what the hell? We want these guys in the lineup every day. The reality is they're just not super into it. Like I look at someone like Matt Olson. That's a guy I've been comping to Tristan Casas constantly this year, and the batted ball data points right in that direction. Casas against righties this year, 132 weighted runs created plus, 101 against lefties. Matt Olson, 161 against righties, 90 against lefties. Like the reality is, yeah, he struggled with lefties in the minors. That's part of his game. We realize he needs to make strides there. He's not going to make strides there unless he plays every day. They don't want to do that. Now they argue we didn't do that with Rafi in 2018. I'd tell you this isn't 2018. This isn't a team you're trying to win the World Series with. So I think that development is very important there for both of those guys. But if they want to shield them, obviously that's their narrative. That's what they want to do with young players to try and build their confidence up. It's working with Casas right now. I just want as much Tristan Casas as I can get.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not going to be a high batting average, but he's going to walk against lefties. That's what he's going to do.
That's fine. And I don't want to get too excited about 8 plate appearances. But again, like it's 8 plate appearances where there's damage. There's damage there. I'm a little bit more intrigued on Duran than I am on Casas, seeing lefties more, which brings back the conversation about Adam Duvall. Like, where do you fall on that? Do you trade if you're Chaim Bloom? Is Adam Duvall someone that you look at and say, this is a guy that can help us win right now? Or is it a situation where you're like, I've got to clear the way for Duran because in the very, very limited opportunities that we've given him against left-handed pitching, he's handled them?
It's not the easiest question. And you look at it from the sense of if someone goes down, it's really big to have someone like Duvall you can kind of move in and out of that lineup, like when Verdugo needed that reset. I'd also throw in the fact that not having to use Rob in that platoon spot lets Cora do what he's done really well, especially this season. You can kind of pick and deploy when you need to based on the situation. We can really, utilize our bench to the utmost level. The return you're going to get for Duvall isn't going to be great either. Like, You're going to get a flyer on some guy, AA or whatever. I think if someone's willing to throw something decent at them, a guy they like, they'll take it. But am I also like saying he has to go no matter what? No. I think it's more likely he still goes, but I'd call it like 65-35.
Do you think it's that high?
Yeah, I'd say more likely.
Even after the Castillo tweet.
The Castillo tweet didn't really say anything to me in terms of Duvall.
Well, he told me more about more like if he said it's more likely that Verdugo goes than Duvall. You said it's a 15% chance that Verdugo goes, and then you said it's 65% chance that Duvall goes.
No, he said Verdugo is more likely to go than Paxton.
Oh, I thought you said Duvall.
No, that's why I was trying to correct it when we were on the phone. He said Paxton. And then he put and Duvall in parentheses after Verdugo. So he thinks it's more likely those guys go than Paxton.
Yeah, well, we have to have a conversation about Paxton as well. That is a whole different ball game. But before we do that, Jake, I'm going to ask you to do the Blue Moon read. And if you could...
Thank you.
Say the meanest shit.
What? Say something nice.
Say something nice about Tyler. Say something nice. Say something nice. We absolutely have to appease the 5 people that don't like the show. They mean more than the tens of thousands of people that love the show the way that it is. So if we could just appease those 5 people, please. Thank you, Jake.
Something nice to say about Tyler. Fuck. I mean, his haircut looked pretty... what am I saying? He looked fucking terrible. His internet, I guess, has been a little bit better recent. Well, He did unplug his computer twice today during recording, so that doesn't really work either. Yeah, I need some more time to think about that. And while I rack my brain to think of one nice thing about Tyler, playoffs are just around the corner, so it's time to help your team out by sticking to your lucky rituals, like the ritual of enjoying an ice-cold Blue Moon while the game is on. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Make it your one-of-a-kind baseball tradition whether you're at the park or watching from home. And I got some more great news. I thought of something nice to say about Tyler. Tyler, I'm glad you didn't die in that tornado on Saturday night. Would it have been a little funny if Tyler's house got destroyed by the tornado? Of course it would. It'd be hilarious. But I didn't want him to die. I don't think anybody did. Maybe just picked up by the tornado and twirled around for a few minutes and thrown into his backyard. Nothing serious, like no big injuries, just roughed up a little bit. That would have been ideal. So there you go, Tyler. You've been spared. But you know who's not getting spared? That fucking weatherman. Fuck that guy. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander. Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something one-of-a-kind? Its bold flavor, bright color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantee a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Brighten up your baseball traditions with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to find Blue Moon delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon. Made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company Golden, Colorado Ale.
Wow. What a nice thing.
Thank you.
Nice thing for Jake to say.
I loved it. You're my guy, Jake.
Yeah. Thank you, Jake. That was great.
I do have one more thought from that first game.
Okay.
Cutter Crawford, really solid start. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Got a little scary with Wilmer Flores at the end there. But you look at his 10 starts since rejoining the rotation, 4.08 ERA, 3.89 FIP. What more can you really ask out of that guy? I think he's proving to you, and you can argue he's doing it over a more consistent stretch than Tanner Houck or even Whitlock did this year. He's a back-end starter. That's someone you could plug into that role and feel pretty good about.
Well, the whole thing about Cutter Crawford is I feel like we're taking him for granted a little bit this year, which is more of a compliment to him, I would say. Based on what he gave you last year, which a lot of people, let me just pull up the numbers really quick. Cutter Crawford, and like the start that always stood out was that start in Seattle where he was nasty, but the overall 70, he's basically exactly, he's at 77 innings this year. He gave you 77 1/3 last year. So we can do a direct comparison. He recorded one more out in all of last year than he has this season. It's a 3.86 ERA this year compared to 5.47 last year. 66 hits this year to 81 last year. 47 earned runs last year compared to 33 this year. He's allowed the same number of home runs, which is interesting. He gave up 12 bombs last year, 12 this year. The walks, 29 last year, down to 18 this year. Strikeouts, almost identical. 77 last year, 76 this year. So he's basically striking out almost exactly a batter per inning. Exactly. Yeah, the strikeouts per 9 last year was 9. It's 8.9 this year. The walks per 9, 3.4 last year, down to 2.1 this year, which is great. The hits per 9, 9.4 last year, 7.7 this year. The whip, 14.22 last year, 10.91 this year. So he's drastically limited the traffic. And then the FIP. So I guess this was kind of coming in a way. 4.34 last year, 4.12 this year. So he was better than suggested last year, and he's gotten like a smidge lucky this year. But either way, I'm very, very happy with what we've gotten from Cutter Crawford. I feel like, you know, you look, he had 2 big league innings in 2021. Virtual unknown. 2022, it was a 5.5. Coming into this year, it's like, oh, we have 9 starters. Gonna have Cutter Crawford in the bullpen because we have so many fucking starters. Well, guess what? You've needed Cutter Crawford. He's made 12 starts for you. There was a lot of talk about Cutter Crawford in the bullpen versus in the rotation, what the numbers look like as a reliever versus a starter. And he's been great. I have absolutely nothing but good things to say about Cutter Crawford this year. And I feel like it's, again, a compliment to him when you just expect it now. I'm not saying he's an ace or a frontline guy.
No,
like,
five and dive.
The day that Cutter Crawford pitches, I expect the Red Sox to have a chance to win that baseball game.
It's the best way to put it. And I think that's a win for the Red Sox pitching development. They claim this guy as their poster child of what you can turn a, you know, not a top prospect into. Well, now you have a back end starter. And when you don't know what Tanner Houck and Garrett Whitlock are moving forward, this kind of growth means a lot, not only for this year, but the years coming. Mm-hmm. That's a guy you can pencil in no matter how you feel and say, if he's our number 5 next year, cool. That works fine for us.
Thank you for bringing up Cutter Crawford. Appreciate it.
Of course. As a original truther last year, when people were kicking the shit out of him all the time, I'm happy.
Why? Why were people doing that?
People, because it was one of those guys, if you mentioned the metrics and said this guy was a lot better than he actually was, there was a 2.5 month stretch last summer where he was the best pitcher, best starting pitcher the Red Sox had. When Eovaldi was hurt and Waka was hurt, everyone remembers the Houston start where he went in against that lineup and shoved. It just got kind of out of whack. He had the shoulder impingement at the end of the year, tried to pitch through it in Kansas City. The numbers all got kind of ugly on him. And by the end of the year, everyone just framed him like they did so many other guys on that team and said, well, their season stats aren't good. They suck. Well, that ended up being wrong for Josh Winkowski, Jarren Duran, and a number of guys on that team where there was reasons to be positive or things they could do that would make them legit players.
I mean, the numbers as a starter aren't like he's given up 9 of his 12 homers as a starter.
Yeah, that's his big thing. He's going to give up jacks. And if you look at the starter ERA for this year, it's not great overall because of those first couple.
It's 4.72.
Since he's moved back into the rotation the last 10, 4.08 ERA, 3.89 FIP. And that's a pretty good sample size.
When was that? When did he move into the rotation after? It was when he came back from the injured list, yeah?
Yeah, June 3rd, I believe. Against
3rd.
Tampa. And he wasn't fully stretched out over this as well. So they were really kind of making do with him over that stretch.
So since June 3rd, it's a 4.08 ERA as a starter, a 3.72 FIP, and a 1.17 WHIP. Basically a 9 strikeouts per 9. So
just got to limit the homers. That's always been the thing with him, though. He's going to get hit hard when he leaves it over the middle.
Yeah. 6 home runs in 10 starts that you're talking about.
If you're going to have the chase rate he does, which is 90th percentile, but you're also limiting walks and you're in the 80th percentile for that, that's a very good combination to be working with there. Not going to walk guys and you're going to get guys to chase constantly.
Yeah. Good for Cutter Crawford. Happy for him. What do you think becomes of Cutter Crawford when you start getting the Whitlocks and the Houcks and the Sales back?
That's a real interesting combo. And I was listening to Whitlock and Houck today. I did not love what Whitlock had to say. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm. Where was this?
He described, I believe Pesky Report posted it, but it was Nesson pregame.
You want me to play it?
Yeah, I posted it on my Twitter. It's a little long, though. It's like 2 minutes, so it might be a little too much. But Whitlock described the bone bruise, and it was just like, Jesus. Like, yeah, it's kind of just the wear of 2 bones pressing against each other when you're throwing. And I'm like, dude, you didn't even throw that much this year. And like, that's what we're hearing. Like, that's the stuff that worries me a little bit in terms of your elbows having that kind of wear.
The I'll be the janitor quote?
Yeah, it was like in the middle of that.
48 seconds. 2
was
minutes.
It 48? Okay, maybe
dude, you're on shrooms, dude.
Great. So, ready to get back after it.
Yeah, what's the next step for you in the process?
That I'm not sure of. Waiting for the training staff and for the coaching staff to tell me what to do.
And obviously, dealing with the elbow bruise. Could you pinpoint how that happened?
It's just kind of stress, like stress on the joint kind of thing. It's bone on bone contact, just kind of does that.
Anyone pitch like in terms of changeup or anything that you were introducing there, or no?
No, I think it was just a gradual, like overtime kind of thing.
Obviously, you get the team doing what they're doing right now, winning games, despite all the injuries. When you do eventually join the team, if you can get back sooner and go into the bullpen, would you be willing to do something like that?
Shoot, I mean, I told y'all this since day one. I'll be the freaking janitor. So I mean, it really doesn't matter. Whatever the team needs. That's always been my mindset, and that's what I'm ready to and willing to do.
I didn't get doom and gloom from that as much as you did.
I wouldn't call it doom or gloom, but it's just more of, Jesus, man, your elbow, there's wear, bruising, and you were just a couple months into throwing, and you stopped and started multiple times already this year. You started the year late. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like then you had the elbow neuritis, all that. You stepped out, missed time, came back, and now that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Wear? What's the wear on his elbow?
Well, it's been 3 years of this now where he's becoming, I don't want to say he's becoming Chris Sale because that's not fair, but
no,
mentally for me, he's conditioned me to feel the same way that I think a lot of us feel about Chris Sale, where I'm not expecting long bursts of Garrett Whitlock. It's more like when you get him, get as much out of him as you can because it ain't going to be for long. Is that fair or unfair?
It's fair, but if you're talking that way about an arm that young that you hope to be an anchor of your rotation, like say what you will about Chris Sale. Chris Sale was the most durable pitcher in baseball for a decade.
Yeah.
Like Garrett Whitlock
I'm
is
not
at the beginning
I'm not comparing the two pitchers. I'm just saying that like mentally, when Garrett Whitlock comes back, I'm not going to be like, well, now he's back. Like now I feel that way about Tanner Houck. Like Tanner Houck got smoked in the face. Like that wasn't.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
Yeah, like that's just shit luck. It's an injury that's unfortunate, but it's not like, oh man, another Tanner Houck injury. Like you can't trust that guy. Like Tanner Houck comes back, you got Tanner Houck. Like I'm strapped in, I'm ready to go. When Chris Sale comes back, I'm expecting good quality innings, but I'm
He's
not
going to be in that rotation.
Yeah, like whatever. Like use him as an opener, piggyback him with someone. I don't give a fuck, but like I'm expecting good quality innings. When Garrett Whitlock comes back, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how long he's going to be back for. And I'm not trying to rip the guy. I like Garrett Whitlock, but has he not conditioned us to feel that way? Where, I mean, there's been a mixed bag of results. We've seen him be absolutely dominant, and we've also seen him be kind of not that great. And I've used this word before and I'll use it again. Pedestrian, just very average, like not an abomination, but definitely not electric or shut down or dominant. He's just been pedestrian. And that's not the guy that we thought that we were getting. And after he signed that deal, like he signed that deal and it's not like he signed this huge deal. I'm not saying, oh, you didn't live up to the hype of the contract, but I'm saying at the time of the contract signing, we thought we were getting a guy that was fucking lights out, back end of the bullpen. This guy's nasty. But then you look at the framework of the deal and you're like, oh, they have other things in mind here. They want him to be a starter and they've tried it and it hasn't worked. I don't know. Like, because I was even defending the Garrett Whitlock starter thing all year this year.
He had a stretch in the middle, before that injury. Obviously got whacked by the Marlins, but before that, we were seeing it. We saw it with those couple starts against the Yankees where there was legit stuff to get excited about once he adjusted the changeup velocity. And it felt like in that Marlins start, they were sitting on it. They knew the adjustment he had made and they were ready to kind of strike. He was going to pepper the zone right off rip. Okay, swing and just get after him. I just think where the Red Sox are right now, it all comes down to their medical evaluation, and we don't know. Like, do they still think his elbow can handle it? There's been no signs to us. They haven't said, oh, we're still super confident about him in that role. It's just been, we'll figure it out when we get there. If anything, Cora said we'll take them back sooner if possible. But in a perfect world, or not even a perfect world, say there's no injuries, Paxton, if he's still here, I think we both expect him to more likely than not. Cool. Bayo, cool. Sale's going to be in the rotation. Cutter is in that 4 spot. If he continues to pitch like this, it's pretty hard to demote that guy. So you're picking between most likely Sale or Houck, or Whitlock or Houck.
Are all of their return timelines are not? It's not like you're going to snap your fingers and on the same day that you get all 3.
Sale's not that far. I think Sale's going to be back here sooner rather than later. He has his rehab outing Tuesday. He's going to go again Sunday, and they don't want to name anything after that. It's going to be 3 innings this Tuesday, though. And the way they've talked about it, I think they'll take him back at like 70 or 80 pitches and let it run.
Yeah.
And just, we're already running 2 bullpen games. They're going to go back to back today and tomorrow. So why not? Houck and Whitlock,
By the way,
we'll see.
Chris
They
Murphy's
just started
been
throwing
fucking
bullpens.
Great. Like I love Murph.
Incredible.
Right? Like another dude that does not get the love that he deserves. He was like not having a good year as a starter down in AAA, got demoted to the bullpen, and comes up. How many games did he even have in the bullpen before he got up here? Like 2?
I think it was 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Very little.
They're like, hey, you're having a dog shit year as a starter. Get your ass in the bullpen. He has 1 relief appearance and then comes up here and he's been outstanding. Like another dude that just doesn't get the love. Like what happens to a guy like him?
And that's another conversation. Like he's not going to be a starter. Obviously, Joely Rodriguez going down today with the hip thing maybe plays into that a little bit. But can you picture taking him out of your bullpen right now? Pretty hard to do for a guy who has a sub-2 ERA.
Dude, he's got a fucking 180 with 25 innings in the big leagues.
And I think that's before today.
Almost had an 8 ERA in AAA. He went down with I almost said the Paw Sox, the Woo Sox. 43 and 2/3 innings, a 7 ERA. Excuse me, 7 ERA, almost on the dot, 7.01. And they're like, get in the fucking bullpen. Gets called up to the Red Sox, 25 innings, a 1.80 ERA, 11 walks to 26 strikeouts. Like, yep.
Think about where the team was when he got called up. That was that night in Cleveland when you had all the drama involving the rotation. Kluber had that miserable night where he got his dick kicked in.
Kluber's like retired, dude.
Congrats, he's cooked.
Congrats to Corey
please,
Kluber.
please, let's do it.
Hell of a career. He's retired. Hell of a career. Thank you. Thank you, Klubot. Hell of a career, dude.
Great mentor for Whitlock.
Thanks for making Boston your last stop on your outstanding big league career. Thank you. He's retired.
Going to be crazy when he tosses the final out of the World Series. It's going to be absolutely fucking nuts. Oh,
he's retired.
Yeah, dude. They didn't even give a reason for what happened. He just got rocked in his rehab assignment at AAA.
Like,
I think it was his second outing.
Yeah.
We're good. We're not doing this again.
Yeah.
Go the fuck home.
Yeah. If you want to go down to Fort Myers and you want to throw on the backfields, go nuts, dude. Like, we'll send you a catcher. We'll find one for you. But yeah, they're done with Kluber. Everyone's been what was that? That was in Cleveland, right? Where he got rocked. Yeah, there was. I don't even want to give a hint.
Oh, please.
There was. I'll just say there was someone prominent that predicted that would be the last pitch that he throws in the big leagues.
Wow. They knew that night. That was it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's sad. That's fair. For the people that are like wondering what he looked like, because he did throw, I think the day he was with Trevor Story, they were down there together.
Yeah.
I think he threw 2 innings and everyone said it was the same thing. He was like 86 miles per hour. The breaking ball is the breaking ball, right? It moves. But if you're throwing 86 down the dick, does it really matter?
No. Anyways, thanks to the memories. Congrats on a great career, Corey Kluber. He's definitely retired. Has to be. Please be.
For his own sake.
Yeah, I hate seeing him get absolutely dildoed out there. Like, come on. No one wants.
I do have a mean thing I got to do this episode.
For who are you being mean to?
Rafael Devers.
Oh.
The defense is a problem, and it's been a problem for a stretch now. And it's infuriating because we're watching. It's never the ball that's out of range. He has range. He made a nice play early in this game on that Clark Schmidt ball down the third base line. Big reason they got out of that with only 1 run in the second.
Clark Schmidt?
Is that what I said? Oh, I said Clark Schmidt. He's the pitcher for the Yankees.
He is.
But no, I think the big thing for Devers in the series here, really the last couple of weeks as a whole, Casey Casey Schmidt. Thank you. We're struggling, huh?
Jesus Christ, dude.
With Devers overall, 7th percentile. It's above average at this point right now. Like, balls hit right at the fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? He needs to be better than that at this point. And he started the year off on a really strong note, which is what bothers me so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Very disappointed. Cost a big run there against Chris Murphy. Maybe the score looks a little differently if he's making the routine plays hit right at him. Not super happy about it.
This is interesting. Not that I thought that it was going to happen, but I did see the name kind of come up in Red Sox trade rumors a little bit. Jonathan India just went on the injured list.
Yeah, heel, right?
Mm-hmm. So that's something to note. Again, not that I thought that was going to happen. I don't know. Again, we'll get into some more Red Sox trade talk. We can do that now if you'd like.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I don't really have anything else to say about the series.
The Chicago Cubs becoming a team that's like, hey, they've won 8 straight. Did they win again today?
I believe they did win again today.
9 straight for the Cubbies? Damn.
They actually lost 3-0 to the Cardinals.
Oh, damn. They won 8 straight and said, you know what? We're going for it. Maybe by Tuesday. I mean, imagine if they lose out before Tuesday and like, actually, we changed our mind. We're not that good.
I think they are with Stroman where the Red Sox are with Paxton, where if someone will overwhelm them, they'll do it. Otherwise, they're not gonna. But I think Bellinger, like they said, they're holding on to him. So, but it seems Stroman-wise, they're willing to listen a little bit more.
I guess.
You want to go bananas? You want to go crazy? Sure.
So the other key detail in all this is that today, the Texas Rangers, they made a deal. I mean, yesterday, Max Scherzer, then they go out and get Jordan Montgomery. Nathan Eovaldi goes on the injured list for them. So they went out and bought up the pitching. Like that it's Marcus Stroman and who? Like Montgomery goes to Texas, Scherzer goes to Texas, Verlander's still out there, heavily linked to Houston. So it's like, all right, let's just say Justin Verlander goes to Houston. Who's left? The Red Sox are sitting here being like, hey, we got Paxton. Like, you guys want Paxton? Like, who?
Jack Flaherty?
No. I mean, like, Flaherty, like, I feel like he can help a team, but he's not going to make the same impact that a Paxton could.
You just hope he can get closer to his old form than what he is today, unfortunately.
I'm not worried about Flaherty. Like, he'll be a free agent at the end of the year, and he'll get his money, and I feel like he'll be a lot better once he goes somewhere else. But this trade deadline, if you were to power rank of the remaining pitchers, impact guys, it's Verlander and then Paxton. Like, who's the next guy? Stroman? But it's like Stroman's not going to go nowhere, I don't think.
He's a very big, unlikely like James Paxton at this point.
Some team's going to get stupid. I'm telling you. Like, there are far too many teams that are either in a playoff spot, desperate to stay in one, or on the fringe of getting one, and they are desperate to get there.
Yeah, like you.
Not
the
advocating.
One name we haven't seen. Go ahead.
I'm not advocating to trade James Paxton. I'm not saying you must do it. I'm not saying you have to do it. I am, however, saying I do believe there will be a team that's like, man, I feel like doing something stupid right now. And Heim's going to know. Heim is going to have a good gauge for this isn't stupid enough, or man, this team is dumb as fuck. Here you go. Here's James Paxton, and we'll take this haul. Because for not that Lucas Giolito and James Paxton are the same guy, but we already know what the established value is for a rental. Like Dylan Cease has another year or 2 years. 2 years? 1 year. 2 years? 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Cease is going anywhere either, because people are like, oh no, like you gotta count Dylan Cease as part of that. Like, I don't think Dylan Cease is going anywhere. But the bar has been set for rentals, and the bar has also been set for guys that can come in and make an impact. Do I think that a team will get a little crazy? Like what the fuck are the Baltimore Orioles doing?
Yeah, they were heavily linked to Jordan Montgomery before he got dealt.
They should be linked to everybody.
But I have a hard time believing the Red Sox are going to deal in division.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But I'm just saying the Baltimore Orioles came all the way back and took over first place in the American League East. And it enrages me every year when you see the trade deadline. It's like Christmas shopping. All these fucking teams are waiting until Christmas Eve to go and buy the presents. You don't, just because there's a trade deadline, it doesn't mean you have to wait for deadline day to make a deal. Like the best hauls, the teams that are going to end up making out the best are the teams that were ahead of the curve. The teams that were like, we've identified our guy here. We're going to go out and get our guy. Like that's, and there's also no guarantee that Justin Verlander goes, but I feel like he's probably going to be the most impactful guy to switch teams here, especially if he goes back to Houston because of all the injuries that they've had. They've been chasing Texas. They're still only a game back. The Rangers have lost 3 straight. They've lost 7 out of 10. And you've got Houston sitting there being like, I understand the Rangers have had a great year, but we're still the Houston Astros. So, we just got back Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve. Oh, we can get Justin Verlander back? Let's do that. What happens then? So, I don't know. The market's going to be interesting. It's Sunday. We're recording this on Sunday night. It's 10 o'clock. I think that I expect Monday to be pretty active.
You don't want to push, right? Like if you get to that point where it's last minute, you start making bad deals. And Hines kind of talked about that the last couple of weeks. Like, we were chasing some guys. You don't want to end up in that spot at the end where you're just trying to do something to do something. I do think with James Paxton, like you look at the Giolito deal, Edgar Quiro, he was the number 84 prospect in all of baseball, number 2 in the Angels system, and Kai Bush, he was number 4 in that system. So that's a top 100 guy and a guy outside of that. Now, Ronaldo Lopez was also part of that deal as well. Mm-hmm. So that kind of complicates it. The Montgomery deal we talked about today, both not top 100 guys per BA, 13-14 or 13-15. Pipeline had him at 9-11. And Stratton was part of that deal as well. So that does kind of muddy the water there. Someone's going to have to go crazy. Someone's going to have to get a little wild here to do it. Maybe it's a team like the Orioles, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're looking for someone with team control because they think their window is kind of opening up from this point forward. Like they have the assets to go get those team controlled guys. I know they're not looking for a huge, signing or anything like that either. It takes one team to get crazy, but if they do, Heim needs to have something lined up to follow it. That's the reality here. Like you look at that Lucas Giolito deal. That's basically Ceddanne Rafaela or Nick York and Wilkelman Gonzalez.
Yes or no? Does Heim Bloom make a deal before the deadline that is going to help the team? I'm not saying a Paxton deal because a Paxton deal is really you're looking at a team that got desperate and was like, all right, here's a prospect package that you can't say no to. Like I'm not saying a Paxton deal. I'm saying, are they going to go out and acquire someone where you're like, fuck yeah, like let's go?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a fuck yeah. I think if more likely than not, I bet they get one semi-controllable piece. The name I kind of been talking about, Steven Matz, someone they had interest in free agency a couple years ago, has a couple more years on that deal. Cheap money. It's like a 4.3 ERA this year. I think he threw 6 scoreless today. The FIP's like 396. Someone that they can just say, all right, this guy's going to be in the middle of our rotation towards the back and consistently be there, clear up the picture next year with likes of Whitlock and how maybe not proving themselves as starters. Maybe a Paul Blackburn who has a little more team control.
Paul Blackburn for some reason.
I just think these are controllable guys that aren't going to cost you a ton. And that's the best case. I don't think you're getting your Mitch Kellers of the world. Dylan Cease is not happening. So like you got to find something in the middle.
He didn't answer last time. I just remember that.
It was late.
It wasn't that late. What time was it? You think he goes to bed early?
Like midnight.
This could be a no for two. This might be a suspension.
You've reached Chris.
Wow. Usually he texts back right away. We'll see if he texts back.
But yeah, I think for them right now, do I expect that big impact signing. If they deal Paxton, then you better flip it and go get one of those guys long-term, a Mitch Keller. More likely than not, I could see something like Tommy Edman. You go get a rental like Rich Hill and you call it a day.
God. If Heim Bloom goes out and I love Rich Hill. If that's the addition is Rich Hill, I'm going to have a strong worded conversation with Heim Bloom.
I don't think it's that crazy though. If they don't see the option for a long-term piece here and they're like, we're just going to basically band-aid this thing until those guys get healthy and they stay under the luxury tax, just wouldn't shock me. It seems if they're not going to pour out, they don't like that it's a seller's market where you have to give a lot to get something.
Wet fart trade deadlines can you have?
In what sense? The 2021 wasn't a wet fart.
The
players may have the players cried over that, and it was pathetic. Honestly, it was one of the more pathetic things I've seen.
Kyle Schwarber ended up being great for them.
And it's the move of the deadline. You don't get to the playoffs without him or Hansa Robles.
I agree with you, but it wasn't like a bam, nuts on the table, like we're going for it. The only reason
it wasn't supposed to be.
The only reason why the Red Sox traded for Kyle Schwarber was because he was hurt and his value was down. You gave up pennies to get Kyle Schwarber at the trade deadline.
Aldo Ramirez, he was the number 8 prospect in your system at the time.
In the worst fucking prospect pool in Major League Baseball. Number 8 here is probably like number fucking 64 in LA. So you gave up dick to get Kyle Schwarber, and I'm guaranteeing you, if Kyle Schwarber was healthy during the time of that trade, Red Sox aren't making that trade. There's not. Like, I want the nuts on the table move. I want the, hey, like, this is going to hurt, but it's going to be worth it. Like, I want that trade. Like, when's the last time the Red Sox made a fucking trade like that?
It hasn't happened. Bloom hasn't gone all prospect capital wise and been willing to dish out for that big move yet.
Well, eventually you're going to have to, just because, like, you're going to be all the guys that you're prospect hoarding right now. Eventually, they're going to keep graduating amongst the other minor league levels, and you're just going to hit the glass ceiling because you've got guys at the big league level that are established at those positions.
That's the Ceddanne Raphael and Nick York conversation we've been bringing up on here.
Eventually, you're going to get there, and it's like, all right, well, we can't hang on to these prospects forever. Like, what are you going to do? You have to make a move.
It's just, do they see this as the time to cash in? Is that deal out there? And it's hard. It's so hard to get young, controllable starting pitching because everyone clings to it. If there's a deal out there, I'd like to see them make it. Could I see them not finding that deal and waiting till the offseason to make it? I could. And it would be kicking the can down the road. I want to see that controllable arm here. But if I ask you, like, who are you giving those prospects up for? Who do you want? What's the name?
I mean, for me, it's Dylan Cease. Like, yes, teams are being told no, but like, that's the guy that you say, all right, well, what about this prospect package? Like, that's
how much, what are you willing, what prospects are you giving up? Giving up Roman Anthony?
I would consider it, yeah. Like, I think that we all got excited about him being number, what, 8, 9?
9.
Like, you get excited about that, and then you see the other list comes out, and it's like, well, he's in like the 30s and the 40s and whatever.
That's where he was going to be. That's
I understand
still
that.
A ridiculous ascension.
But listen, you have to make that move eventually. You can't just sit there and hoard prospects and then be like, look at, we have the top prospect, we have the top farm system in Major League Baseball. That's great, but what are you doing with it? Well, you've got guys that are graduating, they're making an impact. Jaron Duran, Tristan Casas, Brian Bayo, like, guys are graduating from that farm system that is climbing up the ranks within the league as one of the best. Okay, great. They're helping out here. What about the guys who can't? What about the guys who play a position where you already got a guy there? You got to do something with those guys. And
I don't disagree.
Maybe the pieces that I'm describing don't equal a Dylan Cease. Fine. But that's not my job to figure out what the fucking equation is. I even said I threw out Seth Lugo earlier. I'll take a Seth Lugo. Give me it. Like, give me something. Give me something that where the Jeff Passan tweet hits and I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, let's go. It doesn't have to be. Like, I would obviously love a Dylan Cease. It doesn't have to be a Dylan Cease. Don't give me a Rich Hill, please.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm trying to say, I think the people hoping for that Dylan Cease banger, It's asking a lot. I think it's unlikely. I think the ceiling is maybe like a Seth Lugo, a Steven Matt, someone with a little bit of control that can make sense. But would I be shocked if they end up with a Rich Hill or something like that? The most important thing to me is to stay under the luxury tax this year. That's first and foremost. Would that be somewhat disappointing? Yeah, I think anybody would say that as well. But I think if you're looking for that big nuts on the table move, there's a fair chance it doesn't happen at this deadline, and they kick that can down the road to the offseason.
Well, then it has to happen this winter.
That's what it is, because at the end of the day, Nick York, he's at AA. Saddam Raphael is at AAA. What Dombrowski did so well was he dealt the right prospects. Now, he emptied the barrel to the point when they were up against the luxury tax and had all this money, there was nowhere to go. They were cornered. Hey, you have the prospects. Your farm system just got ranked the number 5 in all of baseball by Fangraphs. You got to move these pieces at some point. I don't know if in a seller's market here, that's where Bloom's going to jump.
Yeah.
I hope he does. I want that big move as much as anyone. Who's been crying for controllable arms more than me? I was doing it last year's deadline too. But I don't know. It depends. If it's a super seller's market, like people are talking George Kirby today. Well, do you want to let go of Marcel Meyer? No. So get that out of the conversation. That's not happening. That's where kind of you play this game here. You're not going to get one of those super, super young studs. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. You know, Dylan Cease would be great. Maybe you get a deal done without Meyer there. But if you could do like Rafaela, York, and something, I'm game for that. Open it up to me. I want that move. I'm just not expecting it at this point.
Yeah. Maybe this winter. I'm on the same side as you. I'm not.
I think we agree. Yeah. I think we're both. I think you're just like, I'm fucking frustrated that there's a fair chance that doesn't happen. It's fair. I'm not disagreeing. But I have my expectations not super high based on the way they've been talking about a lot of stuff going into this deadline.
I think I'm not as frustrated as you probably think I am, because I don't know that this team is the one where I'm like screaming, like, you gotta go, like this is the team that you gotta go all in with. Like I don't feel that way. Like they're good enough. They're good enough to deserve reinforcements, right? Like I think last year
they deserve a chance to compete.
Yeah. I think last year was more like you could see like you could see that the body was declining. Like it's like, all right, that they're probably going to die. Like, do we really want to waste our medication on them? Like, just let them die. That's how I felt about last year's team. This year, it's like, I'm very intrigued to see what a shot in the arm could do to this group. Because offensively, like, right, there's no, like, I like the bullpen. I like the bullpen. I love the offense. I think the rotation could use an upgrade. You're intrigued to see what the pieces that are coming back can do, right? Like, I think Sale, Whitlock, Houck, like if a team acquired those 3 guys in a trade, you'd be like, oh, fuck, they are going for it. So, yeah, like I'm intrigued to see what they can give you when they come back, but I can't depend on them. Like I can't depend on Sale. I cannot depend on Whitlock. So I guess I'm more just like, it's almost like a social experiment. Like what could this team accomplish if Chaim Bloom went for it at this trade deadline? I think that they could make the playoffs. And if they got in, I mean, I obviously have friends that are fans of other teams, and I've often heard from them, like in the last month or so, like that's a team I wouldn't want to run into the playoffs. Because I think we as Red Sox fans, if you're a 162 guy or a 162 girl, and you're watching the Red Sox on a nightly basis, we get a little bit jaded. We don't see it the way that other people see it. I think that because we've been through the roller coaster, it's hard to take a step back and say, oh, I mean, like this team has been playing arguably the best baseball of any team over the last month. That's just kind of true. Like over the last month, the Red Sox have been playing better than most, if not all teams in the league. They've been doing that for the last month. So what happens if the team that's playing the best baseball in the league gets an upgrade, gets reinforcements? What happens? So, yeah.
Especially when you look around and the teams in front of you are getting better. Like the Blue Jays went and got Jordan Hicks. They're probably not done yet. The Rangers, we talked about it, everything they're doing. Those teams around you are improving. They're not going anywhere. The Orioles are going to get a starter somewhere. Just that move has to come. They have to make it at some point. And I prefer if they made it now because it gives this team a better shot. But if at the same time you told me they look at this year and they think, let's let it play out, but it's really about next year, which is what they continue to say, I wouldn't be shocked if they don't like the market and they pull away. I'm hoping for the opposite, though. I want that mid-rotation arm. I'd prefer that young impact arm, but I'd take the veteran starter they're quote-unquote looking for now, or in their most recent report.
Give me Seth Lugo.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
He's very happy.
Yeah, that would be... I feel like that's not blowing up the farm. It's not reckless trade deadline behavior where you're going all in on 1 year. Like, you've got him for next year. He's not a frontline ace, but he can most certainly help you, and he'll be here next year as well. That's my target. That's what I want. So we'll see. And if they don't, I will 1000% need to use BetterHelp, because as you can see, I am mentally unstable. I am someone that is teetering on the line of sanity because of this baseball team, because of the fucking assholes that unfairly critique our hard work. We got Jake. Jake was in the hospital because he worked so hard on this podcast. And they just piss on him. They piss on Tyler. They piss on me. That's why I need better help. I just need someone to talk to when stuff like this happens. I need someone to sit down with and be like, here are my problems, and you are an unbiased third party that can just hear me out. Because sometimes in life we're faced with tough choices, and the path forward isn't always clear. Like whether or not I want to cancel this podcast. I'm still unclear on that. Whether you're dealing with decisions around career, relationships, maybe you do a podcast with someone and people are like, you're way too mean to him. You guys even friends in real life? Or anything else?
Getting very personal.
Well, it says to put in your own words. It says elaborate.
Speak your truth.
Yeah.
Starts crying.
Therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life, so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything. The more you practice it, the easier that it gets. I have been very thankful for BetterHelp, especially recently, because man, have I had a lot to vent about. Just a lot of things that are really pissing me off over the last few weeks. Just people that are pissing me off. Scenarios that have unfolded in my life that have really pissed me off. Interactions that I've had that have pissed me off. I just really needed someone to talk to, and that's why BetterHelp has been there for me and has really helped me through this time. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, you got to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Jared, Jared, to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp.com/Jared. Wow. So we talked about the series. We talked about the trade deadline. A lot of Red Sox talk on this episode, Jake. A lot of Red Sox talk, which I feel like, that's what we're known for, my brother.
Sox. We're a Red Sox podcast.
We're a Red Sox podcast. We're always talking Sox. We're always just Sox talking it up and just ripping Sox. That's what we do, dude.
Do you even baseball, kid?
No, I mean, I feel no one does Sox like this podcast right here. Just fucking loves the Sox. So much so that let's talk about some random player that played for the Red Sox Let's see. Random number generator. Okay. Now that the list has been unleashed, you know what? I almost feel like I made a mistake by giving the full list to these animals. These animals. Do they deserve it? No.
The majority does. The minority doesn't.
Yeah. Fuck the minority of people that are just really mean on the internet. Red Sox Lottery. You know it. You love it. Brought to you by DIRECTV. Home to the most local MLB games. Thank you to DIRECTV for sponsoring the Red Sox Lottery. This segment of Red Sox Lottery. This week's number is generate 3. Number 3 is Daniel Bard.
Yes.
Daniel Bard, number 3. Okay. Daniel Bard. Wow. This is Did we ever run that interview, Jake?
Feel like we did, but I gotta go check.
I don't think we did.
I don't remember.
Was that for Baseball is Dead or was it for this podcast?
Baseball
wasn't this one.
It's for Baseball is Dead. I don't know that we ever ran it. Should we just run it as part of Red Sox Lottery?
Could do that.
Yeah, you know what? Red Sox Lottery with Daniel Bard. Here he is. Daniel Bard. All right, we're here at Daniel Bard, Colorado Rockies. Last night, because we don't have a ton of time, I just want to get right into it. Last night, you found out that it was your 100th career appearance at Fenway Park, and you got the win. I saw the interview that you did with Bradford talking about coming back. Talk about being on the mound for your 100th career appearance after everything that's happened.
I didn't know it was the 100th till I got done. My wife told me. I knew it was like around 100. I kind of did the rough math in my head and knew that I had about 30-something a year here for the 3.5 years. So I knew it was right around there. I'm glad I didn't know. I kind of like came out on the field before the game yesterday. Felt the emotions of being back here. But once the game starts, you kind of got to block that stuff out and go do a job. So that's what I tried to do. It was definitely felt different than a lot of my other outings.
You've got a sub-1 this year. You've been dealing. Be honest, because when you're talking about being a reliever, you got to just wipe it out if there's ever like a bad appearance or whatever, like the closer's mentality. When the schedule comes out, did you like scroll it and see like when my return to Boston would be? Like when did you become aware of when this series would become?
I think it came out last year when they were at least scheduled like late in the season last year, and I saw it on there and I was like, all right, that's going to be a good one to come back for, because I think I just signed the extension to stay with Colorado, so knew I'd be back. And then I started the season on the IL, so things were a little up in the air for a minute, but luckily we're back and back active and throwing, and got to do it last night.
What does it mean to you? Because I feel like if you were to ask similar situations to different guys, they would play it off like, it's just like another series, but I feel like it does mean something to you. What does it mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I got a lot of history here. I mean, I grew up, came to a few games here as a kid with my dad, my grandfather, my uncle. Got roots all over kind of Boston area, Massachusetts. Played in the Cape League, got to do the showcase thing they do here with the Cape. So, kind of like just throughout my baseball life and everything, you got, Field of Dreams, it's in the movie. Like there's just so much history here. And then I played here for 4 years. So all those memories. And, I threw the ball pretty well here for the most part. So a lot of good memories, a lot of good, crazy teammates I remember from my time here. And it kind of all just comes to a head when I step back out here, seeing all the green paint. And, there's a lot going on when I see this place.
We got to talk about the butterfly effect, because do you think if things had panned out differently, do you think that almost taking that time off, being away from the game for as long as you were, that allows you to be as effective as you are now in your later 30s? Or do you think that there's an alternate universe where you could have been pitching every season from your big league debut until now, but like there's also the alternate universe where those years that you weren't pitching protected your arm to be able to pitch into your late 30s now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could look at it. For me, I don't think anyone would script their career the way mine's gone. But at the same time, having lived it and having been through it, like, probably wouldn't change much, I mean, I think everyone wants to have that perfect long 15-year career, which is great. And I applaud the guys that are able to pull that off because it's not easy. I wasn't able to do it. Mine came in a lot different shape and form. So, but here we are. I feel like I got a pretty good story to tell, trying to help some people that maybe go through some tough things in whatever walk of life, whatever you're, struggling at. Just trying to give some people hope that there's, good things on the other side.
So that was, you mentioned your story. How much, if this were the iceberg, right? We can see the tip of the iceberg. How much is below the water? Like, if the Daniel Bard movie made it to the big screen and I went to go see it, how much of that movie am I going to be like, I didn't know that, I didn't see that happened? There's only so much that's public.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot hidden at this point. Maybe a few little details, but yeah, I mean, I've told the story so many times. I think, even just this year, in the past month, with all the stuff I went through earlier this year, like, people have kind of dug deeper and told the whole thing all over again. So I tried to be an open book about it for the most part. Might regret some of that down the road, but so far so good. The feedback's been awesome. People I'd never expect that come from not total non-baseball backgrounds. Like, hey, read your story. It helped me through XYZ. Like, in something I would never expect. Non-sports, different things. So, just able to help whoever is out there reading it. Like, if I have, however many times I got to tell the story, I'm willing to do it if it's going to help a few people.
Your support system, what does that look like? How much do you credit yourself with? Because obviously, like, you have your wife, your family, your kids. That's a big chunk of it. How much, if you were to divvy it up, how much would you credit yourself for where you're at in your career?
I don't like taking too much credit. The only credit I'll take is I've tried to be open-minded. I've tried to remain like curious as far as like trying different things and talking to different people. But yeah, I mean, my wife deserves a lot of credit for sticking with me. She pushed me to come back and play again. She encouraged me to do that. She said, you need to do it. Like, you need to go see if there's something still there. When I told her I was feeling good, I was trying to talk myself out of it. She talked me into it. My parents, my brothers, my agent, he's been with me since high school. Huge resource. And man, people I worked with when I was with the Diamondbacks organization, like, I learned so much in my 2 years away from playing when I was working there. So I don't like to take too much credit. I think
I know you would say
like
that.
Yeah, well, it's like the things that led me out of the game. I always described it was like a perfect storm of bad things that could happen to a pitcher. I had an injury. I had some bad results. I was pitching in a pressure cooker market like Boston, and it all kind of just happened at once. And before you know it, I'm out of the game. I think it was kind of the same thing that got me back in. It was like no one could ever have designed it that way, where it's like I took the right coaching job, was around the right people, had kids at that time. That changes your perspective on things. Like the perfect storm of things that kind of let me, kind of lets that piece of whatever it is in your brain, lets it heal so that you can go back to doing things the way you meant to do them.
I know you got somewhere to be, so I'm going to wrap it up with this last question. In your interview that you did with Bradford, you talked about coming back this most recent time being the one that you're most proud of. Again, going back to the movie hypothetical, if the Daniel Bard story is a movie, did the peak already happen with the second comeback, or how would you script it if that wasn't the peak?
I don't know. I don't like to think there's ever a peak, I got a lot of life left after baseball too. So, but as far as the baseball stuff goes, I don't know if there's a peak. I just look at it as one big story and try to learn some lessons along the way. I mean, that's all there is to it. And, different parts of my journey might mean different things to other people. I just know what they are to me and my family. And I think that's now my focus, being a dad and stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, someday my kids are going to be going through something, whether it's in high school or they're in their 20s or something. I can like maybe use something I've been through to help them. So that's kind of like my motivation now. Yeah.
Daniel Bard, thank you so much for taking the time. It's good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, man.
Congratulations
Thanks,
on the second comeback. We'll be rooting for you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you to Daniel Bard, the first ever, or actually the second ever player to be part of their Red Sox Lottery segment. First being Patrick James Light. The second was Daniel Bard. Wow. Tyler, what are your thoughts on Daniel Bard?
So Daniel Bard's very like close and personal to me. Actually, I was a very firm believer that Daniel Bard was going to figure it out for a very long time, and I clung very heavily to it. Still believing. And I remember in 2013, what was it? Was it the Angels? His last outing ever. I remember being at the movie theater, and I bet one of my buddies. Bet him. I said, "Hey, Daniel Bard's going to figure it out. If not, this is a slap bet. I'll owe it to you." For people who watch How I Met Your Mother, they know that's 5 slaps. Well, turns out Daniel Bard, things went off the rails very quickly after that.
Yeah.
Never reappeared with the Red Sox, had that awful stretch with the Cubs and over. So I got smacked over the next 3 years, 5 different times at a moment when I did not expect. And I got obliterated. It was a rough time. But I owned it. It was a bad take.
Yeah, I mean, I think... So I interviewed Daniel Bard for Section 10. I think it was in 21, maybe. When was his first year back? 20?
First year back was 20, yes.
Okay, so I think it was in 21 when he came on Section 10. And I remember like blogging about Daniel Bard back in the day and not necessarily being on his side, because I remember covering the team on a daily basis. Like now, like the podcast, it's twice a week, right? So you don't get to everything every single podcast. But when you're blogging and covering a team, you're reading every article. Like I was probably writing like, I don't know, 5 to 8 blogs a day that were just on the Red Sox. So I remember the Daniel Bard situation very closely, and everyone would blame Bobby V. You'd be like, oh, Bobby V broke Daniel Bard. Like the Red Sox broke Daniel Bard. Like they're the ones that made him, into a starter and this and that, yada, yada. But I remember he wanted to be a starter because starters made more money. Like that was the whole thing. And part of that narrative got swept under the rug and no one ever talks about it. Like, it's been 10 years and I love Daniel Bard. I'm a fan. I root for him. I get excited when he succeeds. It's like, I love his story, but over the course of blogging the Red Sox every single day back then, I remember that was part of the story, was that it wasn't Bobby V. It was Daniel Bard that said, no, I want to be a starter because starters make more money. So that's why I don't want to say I wasn't on his team, but I definitely wasn't a defender of his when the whole Red Sox broke Daniel Bard thing came out. I was like, no, I'm defending the Red Sox on this one because he was amazing as a reliever for the Red Sox. He was the heir to Jonathan Papelbon. Like people were like, you know what? Jonathan Papelbon's leaving in free agency. Who gives a fuck? We have Daniel Bard. But then Bard wanted to be a starter. And it's like, oh, well, this didn't pan out the way that we thought it was going to.
Those first 3 years with the Red Sox before everything went wrong in 2012, 2.88 ERA, 3.22 FIP over 197 innings.
What was the K9?
It was 9.7.
Oh, that's actually a lot lower than I thought. I mean, that's like having a 10 K9 is pretty good, but I thought
then too, that was like really pumping it.
Yeah. And like Daniel Bard was one of those first guys, like we're not that far removed from it, but it also seems like forever ago at the same time, where him throwing 100 was like a story. Just the fact that he could throw 100 was like, whoa. Like I remember like Joel Zumaya was one of those dudes. And then when the Red Sox had Daniel Bard and he would come into a game and he would hit 100, you would look up at the board and see 100. You felt like you were seeing history. Like, oh my God, like I'm watching like the man on the moon right now. Now guy throws 100 and you're like, oh, it still has that effect. Like you look and see 100, like the fucking Giants closer there. What, Doval? The fuck's his name? He's nasty. He throws 100 like it's no big deal. And it wasn't. I mean, he fucking blew a game against the Red Sox and then Casas got him for a knock. Like, guys throw 100 and you're like, yeah, whatever, just time it. But when Daniel Bard did it, it was like, woo, Like that was still like a spectacle back then. But I truly think that his story should be at the very least a documentary, but it could be a movie. And
it's definitely a movie. It is an incredible movie to be working as a mental health skills coach for the D-backs, right? And you're just throwing it and like, they're like, dude, there's something here. Like I'm feeling it. And you make yourself all the way back to the big leagues and you make the money he's made. That is a fairy tale ending to the utmost level.
Yeah.
Probably felt like hell for a long time, but like what stories are really better than that? And he came here and had, a couple nice moments this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. But yeah, awesome guy. Easy to root for. And I couldn't be happier for him that he made his way back to the big leagues and he's had success ever since he got back. Yeah, love Daniel Bard. And the best part is like, I feel like if I was in his shoes and I had the same experiences that he had, I don't think that I would talk about it as much as he does. But that's me being selfish, because I think if it were me, I'd be like, I don't want to keep talking about this because I don't want to get in my own head and revert back to that. Like I would be like afraid that it would come back because I kept talking about it. But he talks about it because he knows that it can help other people. So he's unselfish. I'm selfish. Like I would be like, listen, that was a nightmare that happened. It sucked that I was out of the game for X amount of years, and I'm not trying to go back to that life. I'm very comfortable and happy pitching in the big leagues and being nasty again. So I would kind of like stay away from it. But when he was in Boston, interview requests out the ass. Like I was not like, I was one of the last ones that he did. And you couldn't tell that in his voice. Like he was super gracious with his time and he was invested in the conversation. And I'm sure that's got to be weird for him to like, it's like, yeah, man, like that happened so long ago, but like people keep talking to me about it, So
like we saw him in 2013 early in the year, and then DFA'd in like September. What he went through those next couple of years, people just couldn't see it. But 2013, like he's pitching in the minor leagues, 189 ERA in 3 outings in 2013. After this is in winter ball, continues 2016. He's still going through the minor leagues, 24 ERA, 2017, 13.50 ERA. Like that's 4 years after 2013, where this guy is out there having the most embarrassing moments on a mound you can imagine. It wasn't like he just wasn't throwing strikes. He was just hitting guys.
Yeah.
Like that is as bad as it gets. And for him to push through all those years and still come back to baseball, you said it earlier. When something goes wrong for you, you're good. Just throw it away. This dude got his teeth kicked in for 4 years. Years after that, having to still have that in the back of his head, it was like, I love baseball. I'm back to it, and it worked.
Jake, what are your thoughts on Daniel Bard?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has one of the coolest stories MLB of all time. I'm honestly just happy that he was able to come on with such short notice.
Did we confirm that we never ran that?
Never ran it.
Love that.
Boom. I also will say, for him to have to crawl back to Ben Cherington and like be like, hey, I want to be a reliever again. Dude, that's a fucking tough pill to swallow after the storyline it was during that time to become a starter.
Yeah.
And then you go back to being a reliever and you're like the worst reliever ever.
Yeah. Wow. For a podcast that doesn't talk about the Red Sox, we got a lot of fucking Red Sox talk in today. Tons of Sox. And we still haven't even done the Stop and Shop look ahead. Yeah, we got more Sox talk coming your way right here on the Name Redacted podcast. What?
Hold on, Tyler. You gotta refresh.
Oh, because we've been talking Sox for so long.
It's talking way too much Sox.
Oh man!
Back like I never left, baby.
Yeah. See, that happens when you talk too much Sox. The data runs out.
Legit, instead of it saying refresh, it just said Sox all the way across it.
Soxed out.
Are we going to announce what we're going to have possibly coming up in a week and a half? Do we want to say it?
Yeah,
Breaking news.
Yeah, there it is.
Do you want me to announce it?
I mean, yeah, you have to.
Yeah, so August 9th, right? July 30th right now. Jared, usually on Wednesdays, is on the baseball hour. I'm going to be hosting a little bit here and there over the next couple weeks as I get my feet wet. So there is going to be an unofficial Name Redacted baseball hour episode where I'm hosting. Jared's in with me. And we'll have Jay Stu behind the board.
Wow.
It's going to feel wrong without
Can Jake come? Can we have Jake
I
in
know.
there?
I want Jake. Like, I feel weird without Jake.
I feel like at the very least, like Jake should be in the room to be like, if you need to queue up Jake, he's there.
I can't imagine Jake not being there while we talk.
Yeah.
You're in person too, right?
I'm always in person.
We're going to get a little time together.
Yeah.
And for the people that want just Sox, on the airwaves, there's no room for bits or jokes. So
we are going to be...
We will be Soxing it up.
It'll be so much Sox, you're not going to know what to do with it.
If you want to call in and pay any tributes to Bullet or anyone, don't hesitate.
Please don't.
You need to have a Sox thought. You can have a Sox thought.
No bits, just Sox. No bits, just the hits. All Sox. Name Redacted. Here we come. 98.5 the Sports Hub. Home to all the Sox talk.
I'm scared to host with you there. I feel
Why?
like you're gonna look at me weird.
What do you mean? Why would I look at you weird? You think I don't respect you?
I don't know.
Jake, how do you think I respect Tyler?
I think you have the utmost respect for Tyler.
The utmost respect for you, Tyler.
We're gonna cook.
I didn't make fun of you once on this fucking show.
What happened to Bullet?
I didn't mean to hit that.
It's okay.
I didn't mean to hit that. I swear to God.
It's old, Jared. It's not
It's
funny.
played out. Oh, I cringe every time I hear it. I cringe. I'm canceling the show, by the way.
Do you want the merch or do you want to cringe? I keep hearing both.
I'm canceling the show.
This is it?
Yep. This is the last episode. Yep. Just want to hear that one last time before we cancel the show. Orioles lost. I mean, they won 9-3. What do you mean?
Who are they playing?
The fucking Yankees.
Oh, yeah. Luis Severino got his shit kicked in early, right?
Again.
Yeah, that's rough. Rough scene.
It's tough. It's going to be a rough scene when the Boston Red Sox, roll right into Seattle. Man, this is kind of tough, I think, for the Red Sox. But you know what? The Seattle Mariners, they haven't been playing good ball this year. A couple games over 500. They're 53-51. They're fourth in the AL West. The Stop and Shop look ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop. Use the promo code Section10 to get 10 cents off each tangerine when you buy at least 5 pounds of tangerines only at Stop and Shop using the promo code Section10. You know what I noticed is that Stop and Shop sponsors at Fenway too. There's a Red Sox connection there. Stop and Shop loves the Sox.
They love Sox talk.
Oh, if you love Sox talk, Name Redacted Pod is for you. It is the home of Sox talk. The home. It has a monopoly on the Sox talk. That's a fact.
Kings of the Sox talk.
Okay. Stop and Shop look ahead. Red Sox Mariners, Brian Bayo versus George Kirby. Has Cora said anything about who would start the middle game?
I don't believe. Oh, yeah, it's Bayo on 6 days rest.
Wait, so they're skipping. Bayo's not the first.
Pavetta's starting tomorrow. First start since everything happened. They're giving Bayo an extra day of rest. He'll start Tuesday.
All right, so Nick Pivetta versus George Kirby. Brian Bayo versus Bryce Miller. And Cutter Crawford versus Logan Gilbert. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
Okay. Brian Bayo. Actually, you know what? Let's not start there. I don't even know if I have. All right. Let's start with George Kirby. George Kirby, 9-8 with a 3.49 ERA, a 1.08 WHIP, and an 8.2 strikeouts per nine. He's been fantastic this year. He leads Major League Baseball with a 0.9 walks per nine. He has only walked 12 batters all year in 123 and 2/3 innings. For context, he has allowed 14 home runs this year. You are more likely to hit a home run off of George Kirby than you are to walk. That's crazy. He's been fucking amazing in his last 3 starts. On the 15th, 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned. That's pretty bad. Well, yeah, okay. Who was that start against? Who the fuck did he pitch against on that? Jesus Christ. He gave up 5 home runs his last time out?
Jesus Christ.
No. That's a typo. That's a typo. It says 5 home runs.
It was 1 home run last time
out.
out.
1 home run. Yeah. That's a typo. So he's actually not been very good. But he did have 7 shut on the 20th with 10 strikeouts. And that was sandwiched in between 2 really bad ones. He's got elite stuff, 4 games of 9+ strikeouts, but oddly has 9 games of 4 strikeouts or less. Seems like he's like hit or miss. Seems like someone that I'm not giving up Marcelo Meyer for. Yeah.
Agreed. I wouldn't give him up, but I'd give up just about anything else.
Okay. 4-seam sits at 96 miles an hour. He throws it 40% of the time with 28% whiff rate. 232 batting average against, 389 slug. Throws a slider 19% of the time, 18% whiff rate. That's weird. The Mariners are 11-9 when he pitches, and they are 4-1 in July. That's the Nick Pivetta game. So then we have Brian Bale. Brian Bale versus Bryce Miller. I like Bryce Miller a lot, by the way. Brian Bale, 7-6, 3.66 ERA, 121 WHIP, a 7.7 strikeouts per 9. He did have a rough outing against Oakland, but he did bounce back with a quality start against basically the best lineup in baseball. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 1 home run. I'll take that line 10 times out of 10. The home runs are still an issue. He's now allowed at least 1 home run in 4 straight starts. He's allowed 14 home runs this year, 7 of which have just been in the month of July. The strikeout's not a huge concern because he's been inducing ground balls. That being said, he has not topped 5 strikeouts in a game since June 18th. So that's 6 straight starts where he hasn't topped 5 strikeouts. The cutter that Bayo has been throwing recently has been trending harder since it's been introduced. In his last start before the All-Star game, he averaged 88.5 miles per hour, but in his latest, it was 90.9 miles per hour. It's mostly been used against lefties, and it's been successful. 218 expected batting, 411 expected slug, 28% whiff rate. Red Sox are 11-6 when he starts, and they are 3-1 in the month of July, despite the home run issues. Bryce Miller, 7-3. 3.96 ERA, a 1 whip, and an 8.5 strikeouts per 9. Similar to Kirby, he also hates walking people. Only 15 walks in 75 innings this year. He's also allowed 11 home runs. Not quite Kirby standard, but he only has quality outings, or he's the worst pitcher in baseball. So, 8 of his starts, try and follow this. 8 of his starts, he's allowed 1 earned run or less. That's 14 starts on the year. 3 starts, he's allowed 6+ earned runs. So it's a lot of feast or famine. He struck out 10 batters in his debut, but he's only topped 6 strikeouts in a game once since then. That was his last start. 5 2/3, 8 innings, 6 earned, 7 strikeouts. Gave up 4 bombs. Yikes. He's a 2-pitch pitcher. 4-seam, it's about 95, 66% usage. Slider, 86.6% miles per hour, 20.7% usage. They're pretty good. 218 batting average for the heater, 180 for the slider. Whiff rates in the 20s. Mariners are 9-5 when he pitches, and they've won his last 3. Okay. And then in the finale, you've got Cutter Crawford versus Logan Gilbert. Cutter Crawford, we just talked about him a lot, but he picked a critical time to have his best month of the year as a starting pitcher. 5 starts in July. He's 3-1 with a 3.5, a 103 whip, and a 9.2 strikeouts per 9. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, man.
Sneeze for me. Oh, yeah. That was wet.
Yep. He was great against the Giants in his last start. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned, 7 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts was second most in an outing this year. He also had 13 whiffs, which was the second best of the season. Home road splits are wild. At home, 9 games, 5 starts, a 6.03 ERA. On the road, 11 games, 7 starts, a 2.36 ERA. And this game will be on the road. So it's important to note he has dominated on the road. Curveball has still been ass. 375. The sweeper, 120 batting average. There's more sweepers. More sweepers, less curves, Cutter. Red Sox are 8-12 when he pitches, 6-6 in his starts. And then Logan Gilbert. I love Logan Gilbert. 9-5, a 3.83, a 106 whip, and an 8.7 strikeouts per 9. They don't walk guys in this rotation. Gilbert with a 1.5 walks per 9, 21 walks and 21 starts across 124 2/3 innings, 16 home runs allowed. He's been outstanding in July, 2.78 ERA, 3.44 FIP, 6.69 OPS against. He's allowed only 10 earned runs all month, and 5 of that came in one game. He's either had 6 or 7 strikeouts in 9 of his 21 starts this year. Big fastball, above 95-ish. Fastball is the only pitch that he throws that has under a 30% whiff rate. Slider, 30.1. Curveball, 30.5. Splitter, 33.5. The Mariners are 12-9 when he pitches, and they've won his last 5. Okay. Prediction time. That is Pivetta versus Kirby. That is Bayo versus Miller. That is Crawford versus Gilbert. Jake, what do you got in this series?
I got a sweep here.
Oh.
A lot of people are calling for the reverse sweep. Losing 2 out of 3 to a really good team on the West Coast does not warrant a reverse sweep, so we're sticking sweep.
And it wasn't like they didn't embarrass themselves either.
Right.
Close games.
They were all close games. There were games that they probably should have won. I mean, I tweeted that the Red Sox should have swept that series. They could have gotten swept easily too. So, yeah, I think that you're correct for not breaking out the reverse sweep. It wasn't an abomination. Tyler, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little nervous going into this series. I think you alluded to it a little bit as well. But Pivetta starting for the first time in a while. I know he's been great out of the bullpen, but it makes me nervous. I think that's just the reality of it. And Kirby and Gilbert to benchmark the series each way, not ideal. Bullpen's very taxed going into tomorrow as well. So, like, if Nick Pivetta doesn't have much, he's going to have to wear it. That's just kind of the reality of the situation. I think I'm going to go... I'm thinking 1 out of 3. I don't know if I'm going to take this as a series win here.
Wow.
I think we might see a little bit of a hiccup here. I think there'll be good games. I'm not saying it's going to be an absolute disaster, but I don't love how they're kind of going into the series here. The Mariners have won 3 straight series, right?
Have they really?
Yeah, they just took out the Diamondbacks.
Wow.
Before that, they took out the Twins, and before that, they took out the Blue Jays.
Those are all good teams. Wow. Took a series from the D-backs, the Twins. Did they sweep it? No, they got walked off in the first game. I remember that. They took a series from Toronto. They walked off against Toronto. I remember that. And then before that, they had a 4-gamer with Minnesota that they split. So they haven't lost a series since they lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, which is embarrassing.
But we could get a trade like Teoscar Hernandez could get the friggin' boot over the next couple days.
You're right.
The Red Sox might get a boost if you get, a controllable arm or something like that over the next couple days.
I'm very tempted to go 2 out of 3 here.
What's the other alternative to you? Are you considering the 1 out of 3?
Yes. I was considering 1 out of 3 from the jump, just because the pitching matchups are so hard. I think Bayo is going to have a really good outing. I don't like the Cutter home road stuff is very fascinating to me. Like I don't think that's that's tangible. So I don't know why I would be concerned about Pivetta necessarily. I just feel like the Red Sox, they're going to have to.
Do you think we get bullpen Pivetta out there tomorrow? Like he's going to go out there and shove?
I think we're going to get closer to bullpen Pivetta than we get to starter Pivetta, just because like he was very pouty when he got put in the bullpen, and I think that he went out there, did his job, and proved that, you know, hey, like you should be rewarded for this. And I don't think that he's going to take that lightly. I think he's going to go out there and be like, you know what? Thanks for the opportunity. Here's fucking 9 strikeouts. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2 out of 3 for the Sox in this one. But I did heavily consider going 1 out of 3 because of the Mariners pitchers. But Cutter on the road, I like that. Bayo in a ballpark where I don't think like he's less susceptible to the long ball, which has more or less been his Achilles heel. And, you know, Pivetta, yeah. I'm not picking the Pivetta game to be the loss. But
you're picking the Cutter game? They take the first 2? You're struggling. Bayo Cutter.
I think they lose the Cutter game, but not because of Cutter. I think they go win-win-loss. Yeah, I think Gilbert shoves it up our ass.
That's fair. Hey, maybe Logan Gilbert walks across the field to the Boston Red Sox.
Wouldn't hate that. I love Logan Gilbert.
I would die. John Morosi floated his name.
Did he really?
He said that could be an arm that teams are checking in. I heard George Kirby today as well, though. So, like, I think Gilbert's more likely to be dealt before Kirby is. But Gilbert was what Morosi floated like 4 days ago or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I got win-win-loss. Probably another Winkowski masterclass.
Dickhead.
What? He blew the game today.
I'm not blaming that one on him.
Well, he did blow the game today.
It'd be nice if Christian Arroyo, could tell if the ball was falling in or not. It sounded like he was going to cry after the game.
What happened?
He was very emotional after the game, talking about the double play.
When Winkowski was pitching?
No. Arroyo. When he was at second base and he misread the Casas fly ball.
Oh.
He said, I have to do a lot of different things in my game better right now.
He puts a lot of pressure on himself.
It's needed right now.
Maybe it isn't. Maybe he'd be better if he didn't put so much pressure on himself.
Not asking him to be the starter anymore.
Yeah. Wow. A lot of Sox talk in this pod. A lot of Sox talk. We're at what? Almost 2.5 hours of Sox talk.
Next episode is going to be a lot of Sox talk too. We're going to have trade deadline to talk.
Oh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how much Sox talk we're going to get?
I have faith.
A ton. If you're looking for Sox talk, you have found the right podcast.
We're not into bits anymore.
Ooh, no bits. No bits, no comedy, no making fun of each other. Definitely don't talk about any personal stories. Especially if they involve the Red Sox. Save that shit for the birds. This is strictly Sox talk. We might even change the name of the podcast to Strictly Sox.
Sox Talk the podcast.
Yeah, can we file a claim for that, Jake? Jake, book a lawyer. We need to talk to a lawyer about this. I want to change the podcast name to Strictly Sox. I do. I think it just fits better. Do you disagree?
I just think it's what has always been deep down inside of us, but we just got confused. It was like we needed someone to set us straight, and the subreddit spoke out and really told us how we needed to act. And now we get it. It's like when the teacher shows up. We got a little crazy with the substitute.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's 10:45. I still have to eat. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk about myself, but I do still have to eat dinner.
Do you ever shut up, Jared, about what's going on in your life?
Listen, it's just one of those things where I just wanted the listening audience to know the personal sacrifices that we make to bring them 2+ hours of free content twice a week. It is free, by the way. Like, it's not.
What?
They don't pay $100 a month for a subscription or anything. And no
Patreon.
No one puts
Patreon, right?
No one puts a gun to their head and makes them listen to it. It is, again, free content for free, no money that they get to listen to without having a firearm pointed at them. It's all just a personal choice that they make. So
I have a test here.
Yep.
So I also haven't eaten dinner, so I'm about to order some food for me.
Oh, eat up, you skinny bitch. Oh man.
But I already had dinner and second lunch today.
Eat up.
Eat up?
You're looking frail as fuck over there.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. You are. I know Tyler's been going on runs. He's been
getting voice memos outside today.
Yeah, some fitness runs he's been going on.
All I can picture is how out of breath I sounded on those voice memos as I'm talking.
I was at lunch, just listening to Tyler voice memos, eating steak tips. Just, it is what it is.
What we do, baby.
Yeah, that's what friends do. Friends send each other voice note text messages because it's like, I've got so much to say to my friend that I've got to record my voice and send it to him because I know it's going to make him happy to hear my voice. That's just what friends do.
Made you feel safe, right? Made you feel like I cared about you?
It did. I felt warm.
That's when you know you're in my circle. If you get voice memos from me, you're
in. Yeah. I was, just person that I was at lunch with is like, is that a girl you're talking to? Why are you smiling so much? I'm like,
T-Dog.
No, it's just my boy fucking T-Weezy out there.
T-Weezy, baby.
Yeah.
T-Money.
Yeah. T-Pain out there.
Yes.
Just doing that.
Whoa.
What?
Bit.
What?
That's a bit. We're getting near a bit here.
You're right.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, we got to go. Because now we're veering off of Sox talk. And if we're going to change the name of the podcast to strictly Sox, we can't be talking about Tyler getting out a 6-pack out there on the streets of Brockton. Can't be talking about that.
Dodging the heroin needles.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll be back with even more Sox. I know you probably have your fill of Sox talk on this episode, but we will be back with more Sox talk right up your ass on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do we have an off day this week? Thursday?
I think Thursday is, and Wednesday we're gonna have an earlier recording time. The game's at 4.
Yeah. So I'll be on the air, and not to talk about myself, but I'll be on the air at 98.5 The Sports Hub doing the baseball hour with Tony Maz during the game.
Ooh. Counter programming.
Maybe. Or maybe I'll move it to Thursday so that we're not on the air.
Yeah. Save that next Wednesday for our little Name Redacted on air.
Yeah. On the 9th. All right. We'll be back on Wednesday. Thanks for listening to Strictly Sox. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Buenas noches, amigos.